Little latency. Okay, we're live.
Woo!
Hello, welcome
Hey.
to the season finale, Band Batch, Bad Batch, season 3 stream, episode 15. That information was definitely in the right order. We're all back today, which is why we're streaming from a kind of a weird time. And also, Ender, Arik Fonts, is here with us. Ready to talk about this finale. A long episode.
Yeah. I was glad to see the timestamp on it because I felt like after last week's episode, I was like, how are they going to end this series next week? You know, like I it was a tall order, and I think they did. I think they did everything that I think they made a lot of choices that I was very confidently not. I was very confidently incorrect about earlier in the season. I feel like I had a lot of predictions, and I was like, "This is absolutely what's going to happen," and none of it happened. And I'm actually very glad for that.
Can you remind us of what those were?
Well, I was like, I think Crosshair is definitely gonna die, and, and so that was my first one. Is I was like certain that was gonna happen. Or he was gonna like be exiled or something. I don't remember what I said, but I definitely didn't like think that he was gonna like be totally for sure with the batch for the long haul. I'm sure I'm frozen right now because my stupid there it is probably gonna okay. So that was one thing. I feel like there was one other, I think I just thought that somebody was going to die. Period. Like surprised that everybody got out.
You think
alive.
they?
And pleasantly surprised that everybody. I was like, Omega's gonna go train with Ventress. I was like, that is. I was also very confident about that. So I went pretty 0 for like 3 on my predictions for this season. So.
Yeah.
It's okay. I like tripled down on the same prediction like multiple episodes of this stream, and
Crosshair.
we got no answer, if not a very not answer, that the assassin clone was a clone of Crosshair, and we were gonna face off with clones of the clones as they battle the evil clones of the clones.
Right.
And
right.
we didn't quite get that. But we got a satisfying ending to one of them, though. Spirit of the chest.
Yeah. I don't think that theory was necessarily it wasn't negated. It just wasn't addressed.
Oh no, I think it was addressed. Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah, but it kind of implied. Hemlock was kind of implied to be like reconditioning rather than.
Oh right.
Reinventing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this in the back of my mind that one spooky clone that's been chasing the whole time was Tech, secretly, and I'm really glad
Oh my god.
that wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried about a Tech
Again,
reveal.
there's a lot of things that I had in the back of my. Yeah, I'm so glad they didn't even touch that at all. Like, why do we? In the back of my mind, when none of that ended up happening, I was like, why did I think that we needed any of that? We didn't, So, yeah.
Yeah.
There is one thing, James, that you get excited about whenever it happens, which is a monster.
Yeah, I love the finale
And, we have one.
of this series. The finale of
Not
this.
only
Yes,
any giant monster.
It's like the monster.
The giant monster.
It's like the best.
But
All right.
at least they weren't just defeating it this time. It actually
Right.
It gets out unscathed. The Zillow Beast doesn't even die.
I figured it. I think they finally figured it out. They spent 3 seasons fighting all the monsters of the galaxy, and they're finally like, what if we don't fight it, but use the monster to help us? And they finally did, and they learned their lesson. Maybe there's some big overarching theme here that you don't fight the monsters, you gang up with the monsters, and they'll help you. So I did like that moment where they're like, you think that was what did they say? They were like, do you think that was Crosshair or Omega? And they're
Was
like,
it
that was
Echo?
Omega.
Echo's
Oh,
work or
Echo.
Omega?
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Was it Echo? And they're like, that's Omega. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was funny. Yeah.
Known chaos child, known to
That's
release
right.
animals
Yeah.
as weapons.
Yes. It was awesome.
I'm trying to like.
Yeah, there was no Jedi development for Omega. We were kind of also thinking she might have some animal force, I don't know, sensitivity.
Yeah, right? I mean, maybe in the future, she's going off.
I mean, she could.
She could. She could show up in, like... I mean, that was the other thing. I was just like, how are they going to figure out, like, how to, like, you know, they have to solve this problem anytime they do anything, like, before the main, the original trilogy of just, like, where were they that whole time, right? And so, like, for Ezra and Thrawn, they're just like, let's just shoot them out, like, into a different galaxy during the OT, and that'll solve that one, you know? But for this one, they're, like... I guess the answer to this one is that they didn't need to do anything during, like, the batch didn't, like, was just done. They're like, no, we're done fighting. We want to chill on this island. But it's cool that Omega was part of the fight, you know? That's really cool. I wonder if if we're gonna see any future stuff with her during the OT. Probably not, but it was really cool that they just were like, yeah, she actually was part of the OT. She was probably fighting somewhere that you didn't see her, you know?
Yeah.
So,
So, Matthew, I don't know if Matthew's in stream or yet, but Matthew, one of our viewers, made us this really cool Bad Batch Season 3 episode finale bingo card. And I thought it'd be fun to, like, go through it on stream, or at least, like, cross stuff off as we discuss things that occur. See if we get bingo.
It's so cool. Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah. Very
that's
cool.
very cool. I love it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, let's get a zoom in. Let's see.
And funny enough,
Yeah. So intro music cuts off early, Godzilla-inspired theme, Jurassic Park-inspired music, heroic version of the Bad Batch theme, sad version of the Bad Batch theme. I think what's interesting is that a lot of these are kind of up to interpretation, too. Clones theme, Palpatine theme, Force theme, Crosshair theme,
Yeah, we
not
can have
Kylo
fun
Ren
with this.
theme, Omega's theme, diegetic music, Cad Bane theme, four on the floor kick drums, music from the original trilogy, Dies Irae, text sacrifice theme, heavy use of snares, heavy use of brass, synth-heavy, creepy music, Burying the Dead from Clone Wars Season 7, intense moment when the score goes silent, Clone X2 theme, and Fennec theme. So
There's some
That's fun.
softballs in there for sure.
yeah, I mean,
Like
yeah, and if
some
anyone,
stuff that, like, this is
Yeah,
Bad
yeah.
Batch. We're gonna have synth heavy creep music, you know, like.
Yeah. Well, some of them were easy, and some of them were like kind of long shots. Oh,
I love it.
Thank you
No,
so
I
much,
love it.
Matthew. This has been
Thank
fun.
you, Matthew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
It's so
That's great.
good.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Kylo Ren theme,
Yeah.
so good.
just did anyone see the Acolyte trailer?
No, stepped out of the theater.
Okay. Oh, you're so funny.
Yes, I did.
You're like, they're straight up. There's totally like an
They
outline
ran.
of the Kylo Ren theme in that trailer during
Interesting.
some of the. Yeah,
Which doesn't necessarily tell us anything about.
it's that. No,
It's just trailer music.
But it's that same theme was in the Mandalorian, like for like the. It, yeah, it would happen all the time. Anyway, it's in there. I don't know about this episode, though.
Yeah, actually, I
We'll
don't
see.
think I heard it this episode.
I don't think so.
Not overtly like we would usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max says instead of killing off Crosshair, they instead killed off his hand. Yeah, they did that.
Yeah,
That they did.
I like that resolution of
in a
that,
way they
of
did.
that. How are they going to go about solving the hand thing with Crosshair. Oh, let's just have him lose it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then
It's
did
not
you
a
hear-
problem anymore.
Did you hear the Crosshair theme at 12:05? Yes. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, why don't we just cross that off? Okay. Let's see, what color should I use? Yeah. Crosshair theme. Where is it?
Yeah, we did. We heard that theme. 12:05. We heard it at 12:50 as well.
Yeah, it was kind of like all in there. Also interspersed was, kind of in the middle of it was Tech's sacrifice theme. Does anyone need reminding?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
It was when
I love a reminder
Crosshair
of
was
tech
basically
sacrifice.
saying, "I'm gonna go in by myself, and you guys don't have to go in."
Yeah, he's
And then
Code
they
Force
decided as a
99
team, of course. We're gonna. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Okay. This is the one that sounds like that song from Godspell. That's right. Now I remember.
I don't know
Yeah.
Godspell.
which I didn't know about. And after you brought it up on the episode, I watched the Yeah, and that is catchy. I went
is.
through a period of several months, basically
Yeah, you're
since
well-
we had that.
Well, better clear your schedule
Yeah.
for the next couple months because you're gonna be singing about the Lord for the next.
Wait, is that Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Also, because the scene in the musical is hilarious. Like, whatever version I found on YouTube was everyone
They're, like,
dancing
in the
in a
fountain,
fountain,
yeah.
throwing their purses
Yeah, the '60s were wild.
in their 80s business clothes, or 60s, whatever, in their business clothes. Yeah, it was great.
All right,
Stephen
anyway.
Schwartz. Oh, is that the person who wrote Joseph?
But yeah, we totally heard that there at kind of 12:30.
Last time, I have in my notes, James reminds James of an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. That's what you said last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he do Godspell? I thought that was like Stephen Schwartz or somebody. No.
It was Stephen Schwartz.
That's Andrew Lloyd Webber?
No. You said it reminded you of an Andrew Lloyd Webber. But Godspell is by Stephen Schwartz.
Oh, okay.
Like, I mean, I think it does sound.
I think it was just
completely
wrong
opera-y.
last time. I think that's what it was.
Either one, I could see.
Text? You're right. Kind of like a masquerade. Yeah, it's got some of that
Music of the
bit
Night or
to it.
something.
Which is the Jesus musical by Andrew Lloyd Webber? Is it
Is it
Superstar.
Jesus Christ Superstar?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus
Okay,
is an
okay.
amazing
Yeah,
Technicolor.
I think
No.
those were like.
Did you do?
Joseph in the Technicolor.
I think he did. I think he
Did Joseph?
Well, Joseph is
Joseph
New
in the
Testament.
Technicolor,
That's
No, Joseph.
that's
is
not
Old
a
Testament.
Jesus. Who did Jesus Christ Superstar?
No, that's old.
You meant, yeah, James, I
That's
think
very
he's
old.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think Godspell and Jesus Christ Superstar are like the
Oh,
Drake
Tim-
and
Tim
Kendrick
Rice.
of Christ-inspired cheesy musicals. I think they were writing in competition with one another.
It's
Has
Lloyd
anyone in
Webber
chat
and
seen
Tim
any of these
Rice.
musicals?
Yeah, can you believe it was Andrew Lloyd? It was music by Andrew Lloyd Webber and lyrics by Tim Rice. Jesus
Wow.
Christ Superstar.
That's wild.
And it was a hit, so.
That's wild.
I mean, there is one song in that in Jesus Christ Superstar, that one where he's like, "Why should I die?" It's like awesome. It is awesome. Anyway, sorry to get us off on a Christ musical tangent, but
If anyone in chat wants to just.
Oh, so Mark Tech sacrifice.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Mark Tech sacrifice. If anyone in chat sees anything on the board and wants to like call it out, go ahead and put that in chat, and then we will.
Where
talk
was
about it.
text? Where was text sacrifice?
Just in that part that we were just talking about, like it's Crosshair. It's like 12:30ish is when I'm hearing it.
So, would you the intro music? I don't know if we could. I think we cannot cross that one off because it. Not only was it not cut off, it was like
Right, we didn't
different, completely different, and was very long and ominous. You know. Would we all agree with that? Unfortunately, I don't think we got the top left corner.
I almost it's hard because some of these are like up. It depends on how
You interpret
we're
them.
going to be interpreting the law here. So I think since
I
the
feel
intro
like
music was not-
for the intro music.
Oh,
Is there a
Justin, you're-
delay of me for some reason?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
think
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah,
like-
maybe you.
But your audio's cat.
everything I'm saying like comes 5 seconds after
Do you want to rejoin?
all of you. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I feel like I always see a delay like on the eCam site just with me, but it doesn't seem to be delayed on the streams. Is that correct for all of you?
Yeah, I think so because I don't see a delay.
Okay.
With you.
I
see
always
delay
seem
with
to see a slight. Does everyone else see a slight delay of themselves in their monitor, like for the eCam? Okay.
Yeah, a
That's
little
not just
bit.
me. Yeah.
Justin.
Okay.
How's it now for you, Justin?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can you hear
see
me?
your lips moving at
Yeah.
the time that I hear your voice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I think it's fixed because I was like talking over you guys by accident, and then like it would
Okay.
catch up to your ears. It was weird. But yes, I was just trying to agree that yes, I don't think intro music cutting off we can cross off because it was a different theme, and I feel like this was more in the vein of like the previous episodes, where it's
Yeah.
like it really clearly started with the Bad Batch thing for a second, and then like boom, something different. Boom. They did like 3 episodes in a row.
Yeah, but this one didn't even start with the Bad Batch theme at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
I kind of.
It has like
I thought it was in the spirit too, but yeah, again, it depends on. Well, Christina, what do you think?
it,
Well, I feel like it's thematically different enough
Okay,
to be its own thing.
all right.
So not cross.
It's like,
I know. I'm just gonna do a dotted.
of course, it's in the family, but
dotted. I mean, we kind of get that like what
Let's
it's
just see if we
big and
need the dotted ones at
washy,
the
and you
end.
get this like cool reverb at the end. And it kind of starts off. I think I recreated this one. This like right in the beginning of the episode.
What are you?
a lot of
thinking,
nice
Justin?
kind of low end, grumbly.
Yeah, it comes in right at 40.
Yep. Yeah, that like pulsing, which is a thing that keeps,
And then it gets
keeps
into
happening
like
throughout
strings
the
and
episode.
stuff. I think that's the sound like right when the title comes on. Like not the Bad Batch title, but the title of the episode.
Yeah. You know what? I interpreted that as a low piano.
Yeah.
But
Oh, really? Interesting.
it kind of sounds like a mixture of the piano and what you're doing.
It's got a little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear both layers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's almost like
I hear
it's
both
like
layers, too.
it's almost like it's like some weird like piano VST that's got a bunch of weird processing on it, you know?
That could
Like
be
that's
it
what
too.
it kind of sounds like to me.
And Justin, what instrument were you using for that?
That was the Micro Freak. I got 3 today on that one.
Nice. Max
Love
wants
it.
to know if you have any new synth samples. So, yes, good. Okay, Matthew says, yeah, the intro music was very different with everything monochrome. It did a great job setting the mood. Agreed. Also, the music for the Star
Yeah.
Wars head logo intro was missing. Yep.
You know it's about to get real when there's no music over the helmets. You know what I mean? When it's just like think Why don't you guys just be pensive while you look at these helmets? We're not gonna, just think about what's about to happen.
Yeah.
It's very dramatic,
And it starts with this kind of metallic sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like a shimmering. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm just listening. I didn't transcribe it, but I'm just listening. To it goes. Oh. That's really nice. I really liked the intro music, actually. It was good. I was a fan.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's
Did anyone
the kind of music I
catch
gravitate towards, sort of.
What'd you say, Justin?
Yeah. Did anyone catch the almost Avengers theme moment that happened right in the beginning of this? If anyone's a fan of the Marvel movies and knows the Avengers theme,
The Avengers theme. Where was it?
Oh.
Go to 120. 120. There's a moment where they all rally together, and I swear it's the same feel and like first chord of the Avengers theme.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like it bomb,
Yeah,
bomb, bomb.
Especially.
Yeah, totally.
Especially because right before it was
Which is what their version is, yeah.
As the kids would say, it's totally giving Avengers right there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a moment.
Yeah, like on God, it's giving Avengers for sure.
Is it the notes specific? Because I'm not really familiar with Avengers, but is it the
it's
notes?
The note
is it
and
the chords?
chord
Is it the
and the
instruments?
deepness
and a snare drum.
Okay, so it's like every part of it.
It's the feel, the texture.
It's the whole.
It's also
thing.
the setting, yeah.
I think my delay is bad again.
Do you have a lot of stuff open, Justin? Okay.
So does that count as low brass though, or as the heavy use of?
I don't think so. Well, okay, wait.
I don't think so.
Let's review. What do people in chat think? Do you think that counts as
Personally, I'm going with a hard no.
heavy use of brass instruments? Also, how are bingo cells referred to? Row and column? Like
Row 1.
row, it would be row 4, column 1. Row 4, column 1. Column 1, row 4, heavy use of brass instruments. Do we think that counts?
Can we call it batch? BATCH. So, call that.
Like instead of bingo?
I think that because it's. I think that because the brass.
BATCH, I see. Go ahead, Christina.
I think that because the brass is heavily mixed with the strings, it's not like brass section comes in brass. Like, and I also wouldn't make that distinction if I didn't know that, like, that's kind of one of the classic Bad Batch themes, is we're gonna get some like moments where it's like, oh yeah, it's the brassy stuff now. So
yeah,
I would bring it in later.
I think I'm satisfied waiting. I wouldn't fault someone else for counting it though. Do we have any votes for it? Because then it can get a dotted line. Okay, good.
I think let's wait for B4 for sure.
Okay. Matthew says the intro music is called Lockdown on the soundtrack that is out already. Nice. I have it pulled up. Lockdown. Wow, 32 from 32 to 44. That's the last episode. That's cool. I look forward to listening to the soundtrack. I did listen to the Volume 1 soundtrack, but they're pretty long, so it's a big time commitment. The scene where Hemlock awakes the Clone X assassins from the pod looks like Winter Soldier program from Captain America Civil War. I haven't seen that. Anyone want to confirm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
Nice.
That scene also happens to feature the Clone X2 theme
Yes.
throughout that entire sequence, which is interesting because we've been referring that theme to the Clone X2 theme, but it's kind of, in this case, representative of all the evil clones in a way. All the, in this case.
Mm-hmm.
All the bad clones.
Yeah.
And actually, what's cool because with that, I mean, we get that the dun 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 dun, right? That's going throughout the whole time. We've got the snare. We get a new sound in this actually. I think. Hold on.
Tell us about it, Justin.
We get a new sound. It's like this wail, and we hear it later, too, when all the X2 clones or whatever we're calling them kind of do the pose for the battle. We hear this like siren thing in the background. Did anybody catch this?
Yes. Yep.
It was so effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one kept coming back, which was cool. It's like every time this theme has appeared, it's grown. From the first time we hear it, like episodes later, they just keep adding and adding and adding and adding to this theme. It's been cool. Really cool evolution.
Yeah.
And it was really effective coming out right there because it was really scary. Like I decided to call them scary troopers at that point. I was just like, okay, scary troopers are emerging. Like,
Yeah, something
these are.
we talked about last week was that there's an interview where it sounds like the Kiners are writing these episodes sequentially, like that they write it when they see the episode for the first time, and I think that's really interesting from a layering in this song, or this music perspective, because it's like, did they plan from the beginning to layer in so many pieces of it, or did they just have to keep finding new gaps in the soundspace, in the soundscape to fit something?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you have to keep evolving. You have to keep. I mean, it's always nice. It's like when you don't just go back A B A B A B. It's like A B A apostrophe 1.1 B, and then you keep adding to it in a way, just a little bit of variation. Oh, that was a micro freak. Actually, and I forgot the copious amounts of reverb. Hold on.
We need that, Justin.
That it had.
Justin, that was a great
Shame on me.
recreation of sound.
There's all the reverb. I forgot the reverb. Shame on me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I just thought it was a Gary Newman concert going on the other side of the sound.
I want to read a comment from Matthew, and then also like more because Matthew, who's in my Discord server, also posted a little bit about the soundtrack. So he says the soundtrack includes Sean and Deanna in the credits and mentions who worked on different tracks. They also released soundtracks from Rebels season 3 and 4, which hasn't been out until. Oh my gosh!
Really?
I didn't know that.
That's so cool.
Wait, like really recently? Rebels? Whoa. Yeah.
They're really doing a good job tying off loose ends.
Oh,
that's really good. I'm excited about that because we don't have any. Now I can get a good hear on Thrawn's theme. 72 tracks.
There it is. There's Thrawn.
You mean we can learn more about
Thrawn has
Thrawn?
been mentioned. Thrawn.
Xanthi, don't you hate Thrawn's theme?
I do.
It's just like I want to listen to that. I want to hate that more.
Well, now Xanthi can hate it in detail.
I don't hate it. If any of the Kiners are listening, I truly don't hate. No, I don't hate the piece of music. The gripe that I have is in the over. It's more of a Filoni thing. It's more of the overarching light that Thrawn is.
Yeah.
Like it's more of the overall depiction of Thrawn.
It
and
very
the
much.
follows
It actually very much fits the depiction of his character in that show, which is what you actually don't like.
Right. It's not just the music.
It's
the
not
music
the
is
music.
just part of the overall.
Yeah, they did a wonderful job portraying this version of the character that you
Exactly.
happen to not be a fan of.
Yes. That's exactly it.
There you go. I'm your lawyer on this one.
Thank
Okay?
you, James. Thank you. Smooth over my thought.
Gotcha.
Smooth over my
Thank you for clarifying.
please. I need that sometimes. Justin, what were you saying? Super wave settings, was that?
Oh well, I'm gonna just sound like an advertisement for Arturia. But the what's cool about the Micro Freak synth is that it's a digital synth, and you can change the waveforms in different settings, like oscillator settings. So how I created the siren setting was using its super wave setting, which mimics a spread of detuned saw waves kind of a thing. So you get that very like classic trancey, thick, jump style EDM music kind of a sound.
That's very
Where
cool.
then like another setting could be like modal, or one could be physical modeling, or one could be a vocoder, or one could be a sample or something like that. It's a really great instrument to play. Arturia, sponsor me.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Macro freak. He's macro freaky.
I want to
Micro Freak.
I want to share one more thing related to what Matthew was saying about who was like definitely on the Bad Batch soundtrack beat before I was. I didn't expect them to release it so soon. So thank you for alerting me to that. But also I want to share something that I don't know how like known it is. Of course I just turned there we go. Oh my god, my face is the background of this.
Dude, I would love to do Rebels. Are you kidding me?
How did I do that?
Did you see
Rebels would be great.
Did you see Lisa's I would love to do like rewatch that show. Talk about the music.
Yeah.
It would take us a long time.
I did a rewatch before
Yeah.
it's really great that my face is just like also in the background of this stream. It's not.
You did some
it's
pretty
not weird,
psychedelic
right?
stuff.
That was great.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, before we do any
that's
other
good.
show, I made Xanthi promise that we were gonna do We're gonna do Visions 2.
Oh, I
Yeah,
haven't
but we have
seen
to
Because we had
discuss
so much
whether
fun
we're
with
gonna do
Visions
Acolyte or
1.
not.
that was great.
It's so good. No, I want to do Visions 2.
Okay. I just started Visions.
I'm so adamant.
Okay, wait. I want to share something about, because this is the first soundtrack, at least Star Wars soundtrack, I believe, where all of the Kiners are mentioned. And there is another, but it's not just these three people that work on the tracks. That's the thing. There's even more people. So I'm going to make my screen really big so I can show you how to access that. Wow, it's really weird making the windows the appropriate size on this. Okay, this should do. So you can click on a track, right click, and then go to right here, view credits. So here it is just these people, performed by, written by, produced by. And I should add that not all releases will have like granular credits like that, but hopefully they do. This one is just those two. Escape Attempt, I'm just picking random ones. Look, this one has additional person. Written by Kevin Kiner, Peter Lamb, Sean Kiner. Because there's also more people on the team besides just those three. David Glenn
Oh, that's
Russell is
cool.
another one.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
Peter Lamb. Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, that's super
Well-
rad.
Yeah, if you look, like, see, the thing is, the credits go by so quickly on the show, and then they minimize it, so it's annoying. Look, this. Oh, here we go. David Glenn Russell, Deanna Kiner, Kevin Kiner. So I feel like I don't know if the order indicates like the amount that they.
I think that the
I think
order
it
is
does. Yeah,
useful.
yeah. But David Glenn Russell, see this one, David Glenn Russell and Kevin Kiner, has quietly been in the background of a lot of the shows and movies, actually, including, I think it was David Glenn Russell who did the Empire Day diegetic version of the Imperial March in Rebels. But yeah, he's been working with them since, I think, Clone Wars. So yeah, that's just another thing to note. You can view additional credits and see how it really is like a team. I think it's like 5 composers or something, 6 or something. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to show everyone that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They never released those last seasons of Rebels until now, and the Kiners thanked fans for constantly asking for it and adding pressure to Lucasfilm. Yeah, that's really cool, because every Kevin Kiner interview that I've heard, the person has been like, when are they going to release Rebels soundtrack, the final seasons? And he's been like, keep voicing your support for it, and I guess it
Right.
finally happened. Like,
Yeah. And like you've mentioned a
Nice.
number of times on this channel, it's not as simple as just going like drag from the the Final Cut file or whatever, Adobe Premiere file, and onto, it's like, which I didn't know until watching your shows, Anthony, like,
okay.
they have to remix the entire soundtrack for CD release, and there's probably a bunch of cues that they have to add back or like retrim and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So there's a lot of work that goes into that process, which is why it's sometimes it doesn't get released at all, because it's
Yeah,
like
one
a
of
whole.
the things.
There has to be demand to actually necessitate, because they have to pay people to do that, basically.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know the extent to which, I'm this probably happens a little bit. Something like this probably happens, but I don't know if it's this exact thing. But like, I know from talking to someone who is really knowledgeable about the film music, the music in the films is, in the film, the music will have a much wider stereo spread, and then for the soundtrack, it has to be kind of brought in, because it's making space for like all the other elements. So like really does have to be remixed, like actually. Anyway, hey, Masked Jedi. Okay, we have a few
makes
more
a lot of
comments. I've seen some people online refer to the CX clones as the Batter Batch. That's pretty good. Yeah.
The Batter
And
Batch.
it's now like further. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's further confused by Batcher now.
I still like that phrase, better, batter, batcher. It's really
Batter
cute.
Batcher.
You should do a podcast series on the music from Rebels after the Bad Batch. Ooh, that would be something we would have to start from the beginning. Like, I have, yeah. After I finish going through the films on the main podcast, I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess a new film comes out, or there's a lot of shows now to cover.
I think a couple more movies are set to come out prior to the end of
Star Wars Music Minute.
Star Wars Music Minute.
Yeah. I do need to finish up the Rise of Skywalker season first.
You do.
Yep.
That's
We
right.
haven't
still
recorded
gotta
with
do
you on
ours.
that one
No, we
yet.
haven't,
Yep.
but we should schedule that pretty soon. At least get something on
No.
the books. Did anyone watch Tales of the Empire? It came out yesterday. No, did not watch it. Yesterday we had a May the 4th
Not yet.
party and watched The Phantom Menace. And then went to a midnight Easter service.
I'm sorry I missed that.
That's great.
I missed you.
I've been in these rehearsals for this opera all week, so I've been kind of like swamped. So
Yeah.
yeah,
How did it go? Oh, it's tonight.
it's today.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, should be fun. It's all of our old CalArts buddies.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
cool.
I figured.
yeah, it's Anne's.
Right.
It's Anne's show, and Mark is conducting it,
Which Mark?
and Lowenstein,
Cool.
and who else is involved? a number of other like current CalArts folks that you might not know, but yeah, it's fun. It feels like I'm in the hyper opera again. It's just really funny. So it's cool.
I was just thinking about that.
Are you? That was a wild experience.
I was, because you said that you were working on an opera with
I try not
Anne
to
LeBaron, and I
remember
was
that
like, oh, I wonder if
experience.
it feels like when you were working on the hyper opera.
It does. It does. Her
Yeah,
stuff is so awesome. I love it. So
it's a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can go to the show. That would be cool.
you should.
Wow, you've had a
But
marathon.
I didn't plan to, so
Yeah. So
Um,
yeah, that would be a lot for me.
okay, Chuck is
But
also alerting me. Okay, wait. The
still,
soundtrack to Rebels Season 3 and 4 also includes a further breakdown of who worked on each track. That's awesome. I will definitely check that out. YouTube descriptions have credits too, composers as well as studio personnel, mixing and mastering engineer. That's great. I just pulled up a random one from Rebels, and does say it does indeed provide
oh,
detail. Producer Kevin Kiner, studio personnel mixer Mark Evans, mastering Daniel Rowland, composer David Kiner, composer David G. Russell.
wow.
Neat.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like that. Okay, so back to the Bad Batch season finale. I think I've got all most of the comments. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just seeing this because it's just a note that I am seeing. It's in no particular order. Did you notice a really weird cut at 9:46? Like so jarring. I had to ask. Like, oh, did it skip back?
9:46.
yeah,
Yeah,
I wrote hard cut to vault.
but like the
Hmm.
music felt like it wasn't finished.
Oh, interesting. I think. Interesting.
Yes. I did
I
notice that because it's the Zilla
I think
Beast
that this
roaring
whole
and then it just cuts off.
mhm. They had so many different things happening on this episode. Like each moment of music that I talked about, or that, when I was taking notes, like you don't get very long before we're having to switch to people doing something else in a different part of Tantus. And so I feel like it's more than most Bad Batch episodes. We got a lot of just like short, wo- stitched together moments. And so they had to somehow bring us back into each episode. And so then we also got that whole like thing a lot, where it was just like, we're going to do a bit of a build up and then, and cut to a spaceship or something. But this is an example of when maybe they wanted another couple of seconds, but there were so many other seconds being vied for. They
Being
didn't
vied
get
for.
those.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought it was maybe not intentional. I don't know. It was.
I think they chose to do the cut that way as an effect, like it definitely has it definitely feels abrupt, and I think that it was on purpose. I think that it wasn't what the composers intended.
It's a very
Yeah. Yeah. Is
I
that the
think it was a
Zillow Tape
very
Vault?
exposed edit.
Exposed edit. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Damn. Okay, I'm
But
gonna.
purposely exposed, like it's flashing us or something. Terrible analogy. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I don't know why Justin keeps having latency. I'm sorry. It was great. It really emphasized how cut off each section of Tantus was. That is something I've been thinking about since watching The Phantom Menace again yesterday and on Wednesday. Is just a lot of these locations have just so many different parts to them that look completely different. Like I don't know, in The Phantom Menace, it's the whole part where the mall duel happens looks so different from, I don't know, the inside of the palace.
Well, it's stylistically designed to be that way.
Well, yeah. But then, like, as a kid, I
No, I'm
really
sorry.
confused the layout.
That was a George Lucas meme quote.
Oh.
Have you ever seen the video of him showing the Phantom Menace to like the first cut to a bunch of his like filmmaker friends,
No.
and they all come out and they're all like, "Oh boy!" And he's also realizing that he can't cut anything because the whole thing is like so like the way he, like, you can't cut any scenes out because everything like kind of builds into itself. And he's realizing that like he can't cut anything or make it not as, you know, depending on your opinion of the Phantom Menace, like as good or bad that it is. But anyway, the quote that he used, he goes, "Well, it's stylistically designed to be that way." So there's like a meme.
And it shows, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They should give Crosshair a robot hand, just like Luke Skywalker. Usually Aurora would bleed into the next scene as a post-slap. Right. But yes, I'd assume it was intentional for effect rather than a mistake. Fair. Chuck, remind me, you've done like film editing, right? I feel like I remember that. Or music editing or something. I feel like I remember that from a previous stream. Yeah. Anyway. Anyone else want to...
Anyways,
Go ahead.
while we're at this scene... Oh, I'm back on... Okay, I've been like... my delay just keeps getting like worse and different and stuff like that. Okay, so I think I'm back on track. I was gonna say at the scene while we're here, the Zillow roar was particularly interesting this round because it was different. I went back to the Clone Wars to listen to the Zillow roar to hear what that sounded like. And if you go back to the episode where the Zillow is on Coruscant running through kind of like a Godzilla thing, the roar is very different. And there's actually an article on Wired about the Zillow roar and how the scream was made back in the Clone Wars thing.
Cool.
It says, let's see here, David Accord quotes, there was a lot of blah, 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 blah. Ultimately, the Zillow roar is 75% hoarse, pitched down, and boomed, and the other 25% are various combinations of bobcat and lion.
That's funny.
Mostly for the growls and some heavier bellows. But the complexity of the horse whinny seems to have the right appeal in terms of expression and otherworldliness. And it's funny because we've talked about whinnies many, many times on this show. It's got a shriek in there, a table scraping on a concrete floor, it kind of mentions. But this particular Zill had like it almost sounded like a wind-up motor or like an engine. Or like a reed, like a very harsh, clipped sound to it. It was less animal and more, I don't want to say digital, but it had a distortion to it.
When you say reed, you mean like as in like a wooden reed that would be used in like a double reed, like a reed instrument?
Yeah, but almost like it almost reminded me of something more like a plastic reed or where reeds are usually made out of cane or bamboo of some kind. You could also, unlike Chinese DC flutes, use a membrane made out of bamboo that's super, super thin that vibrates too. And it's super piercing. It almost reminded me of that a little bit, of like how like clipped and piercing and distorted without it sounding like guitar distortion, so to speak. I don't know. Chat can check for me as well. Like I swear, both they sounded different, which is cool because one's a clone,
evolution?
one's different. I don't know.
Because the Zillow Beast has probably grown since then.
Is it the same, or is it a clone of the Zillow Beast?
That's a good question.
I don't know if it's the same beast, Zillow. What happened to the Zillow at the end of?
I have a question. Where was the first? What kind of space was the first Zillow Beast in? Was it an outdoor space that we heard it? Because this space is in the center of like a deep tunnel. And so I wonder if they were purposely trying to show like
There's a
that
moment it
like what
breaks
happens
out.
when a beast roars inside a middle space?
Totally. I think
Yeah, we
there's
still
a
heard it out
moment
there.
it breaks out,
Yeah,
right
I need
when
to.
we still hear it.
Yeah, I really liked the roaring of the Zilla Beast. Um, and the two particular qualities that I noted about it were A, that the pitch kind of goes up from the moment that it begins its roar. It was like, like it kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
there's kind of a slide. It like it has an attack pitch and then a sustain pitch, which I thought was pretty cool. And and then the other thing about it was, and I would love to think about it being a horse whinny because that supports the idea that I have, which is when I hear the Azilla Beast roaring, I feel like I can hear its big vocal cords slapping together. There's a sort of, and that would be interesting to think of a horse whinny going, like, or like, so if you
Right.
and slow that down and make it bigger, that is kind of like how the vocal cords of a giant Zilla Beast might slap together. Uh, that's cool.
I love it. I
Don't
think
you
that's
love
great.
vocal
That
cords
description.
slapping together? Slap.
I feel like I can hear your giant
Loving
vocal
the-
cords slapping together.
I'll also show you my. I think the Zilla Beast is just so cute, and
He is cute,
so I
isn't
drew a
he?
picture of him.
He reminds me of a
For her.
Pokemon.
He's so
I know.
cute.
I know that I just sounded like a
Mhm.
like an older boomer the way I
Pokemon.
just said.
Pokemon.
Is that one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
Pokemans? But there is a Pokemon that looks like.
I think
To me.
that you definitely have.
My partner said it looked like Randall from Monsters Incorporated.
Yeah,
if,
and what
if
were you gonna?
Randall were a Pokemon.
Randall.
Yeah, if Randall were a Pokemon.
That's funny. Yeah, I could see that. I think you're like, what is like? What was that? Ooh, let me think. It's like one of those sea serpent, like original 150 Pokemon. Yeah. The blue one, the horse, like the what do you call it? The seahorse one. What is that thing called? Maybe I'm just wrong.
Horsey?
I think it's the evolution. Is Gyarados? No. I don't know. Oh, it's Dragon. Kind of looks like Dragonite a little bit.
Is it?
Yeah, Dragon Air.
All right. Anyway, well, that's cool. I didn't realize. I also find it interesting. Like, how do you calculate what percentage of a sound something is? You know, like how it's like this is 75%. Like, is it just that's the loudest sample in the mix? Is that what that is? How do you? I'd love to see what the digital mixing of an animal sound is like.
Or do you base that percentage on like layering, where you're like, okay, the bass sound is like a horse, and then we add all this stuff, so all of the additives get less percentages. Yeah, interesting.
That's
Who
cool.
knows?
Okay, so Lisa says, "Did you hear?"
But I want to do a call on the internet. I could not find.
I think Christina is having the same latency things that Justin has been having.
I think so.
Latency?
Yep, there.
Yeah, you
Are you
definitely are.
experiencing?
That's fun.
I can leave and come back.
Sure. Okay, so
Although
Lisa's
I'll
saying,
wait till I can get.
did you
let
hear
back
the
in.
string version of the Imperial March from the Return of the Jedi at 4012? I can definitely go listen to it. Let's see. Did anybody else catch that?
Yes.
Been talking a ride?
Yes. That was really good.
Yes. That's cool. Also,
Yeah.
is this the first time we're seeing in this animation style, and in Bad Batch, we're seeing like actual Imperial Star Destroyers, like TM, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
right? Like, because normally we've been seeing the Venators, right? And
Yeah.
and these are like, this is the real deal now, which is cool.
Yeah, the first SD1s.
Right. We might have seen them at the Clone Wars finale with Vader in the background, maybe?
Actually,
Maybe?
were they still Venators when they bombarded Camino?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, we can look back. But I feel like this is the first time I've seen it, but I can check on that. I'll check.
Yeah, that was a really
But this is
interesting
great
choice.
because I actually missed that this was...
Justin's having
I
a long
missed
delay.
this music reference happening in the... Oh, okay.
It's okay. But I'm crossing off music from the original. Yeah, thank you. Yep, exactly, Matthew. That's
Nailed it.
it's arriving there at the same time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Justin, what were you saying?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Music from the original trilogy. I didn't catch that the first time. Actually, the second time I even watched it. Those strings in the background playing.
Yeah, I think it just kind of gestures toward it. If it sounds like it's tempt from the Return of the Jedi one, but then they removed some notes to keep it. From
Yeah, it's
spelling
just
it
kind
out
of like if you like, something like very slow in the background to like. Just enough, you know what I mean? It's just enough to say, oh yeah, those are the notes. Oh yeah, that is the thing.
Also, John Powell does that in Solo: A Star Wars Story
Yeah.
during Beckett's death.
Yep. So yeah, those were totally Venators in the first season of Bad Batch. Yeah, I'm looking at them. So yeah, these are our first SD1s in Bad Batch and on screen. It's awesome.
Yeah, do we know what year this takes place? Post
good
Order
question.
66? Like, how many years
Somebody
into
on
the
the
Empire are
internet.
we?
Right? Not very far, right? That's the whole idea.
Right.
Is like, so, but I know that they've been like doing this for a little while. Plus, Omega's hair has clearly shown her, changing over the years. That's how you know when the hair changes.
Right.
So let's see. Bad Batch. ABY. Yeah. Okay. Or not ABY. It's BBY. 19? No. 19 years? Oh wait. Yeah.
That's
sorry.
when it starts.
BBY.
19 before. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. So it starts at 19 and then it goes until like, I don't know. Anybody in the chat now? I'm like that
I think
at
it
this
might
type
be
of thing.
intentionally vague.
Second half is later on in 18 BBY.
Okay.
Says
so year two-
some random person on Reddit says.
That's a lot
Says that
less
person.
time elapsing than I expected.
Yeah, I don't think Omega has grown exactly 1 year.
Yeah.
I feel like because now she's all rebellious teen mode. Releasing Zilla.
She
Beast.
is. Yeah, right? Like you do.
Yeah, I should. Yeah,
But I guess they're still sitting her at the kids' table, so.
true.
That's true. That's so true. That is funny. God, man, that whole arc with the kids is I was just very uncomfortable and unhappy for the last couple episodes, of this
We
season.
didn't get to
of just
hear
being
your
like,
takes on those.
yeah, it's awful. It's
So
like
you
they
were really
ripped that,
disturbed
like,
by that.
yeah, I was very, very disturbed by that whole thing.
Your opinions.
From a moral perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because I thought it was morally fine.
Well, like no. No, I meant like as opposed to like, did you hate these episodes and hate this arc, or did you think it was a good arc
no.
Depicting a horror?
No, like the latter for sure.
Okay.
But I was just so heartbroken and also just like disgusted by like literally if anybody like starts to like endanger kids, I usually like think that they're like not, what's the word,
Worthy of life.
like or just just like I can't forgive them. What's the word for that? They're irredeemable. Like that's usually like where my emotional brain goes when I watch a story like that. So that's like, like we talked about. That's why I was like, Xanthi and I got in a legendary debate about Luke Skywalker, and Grogu, and
I
like,
remember.
and or like the Jedi in general, and how they like
Oh my god!
how
I forgot
taking
about
kids away from their parents and not having attachments and stuff is like not good for child rearing and all this whole thing.
Did we have this
But,
debate on stream?
Yeah, we did. it's
During Book of
documented.
Boba Fett?
Yeah, it was glorious.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. It was fun.
I
though. It was good.
I kind of want to find it now. I kind
Yeah.
of want to revisit
Oh,
it.
jeez.
It was during one of the 2 good episodes of Book of Boba Fett. So, the ones that were The Mandalorian. So anyway.
I didn't.
Anyway,
think the second one was good. I thought
I've
it was
successfully derailed us again.
good. Though Max in the chat is bringing us right back on track. With I didn't hear any sounds from Clone Wars Burying the Dead track in this episode, and neither did I, which would have been this square. So
No.
maybe we should have done X's and O's. So yeah, that one's just out.
A5.
No, I
if you
just
will.
don't cross it off. Yeah. We did hear the clones theme. We did hear that.
Okay,
at the
what do you
very, very
interpret as the
end.
clones theme?
Well, to me, it was always a ba-da-da.
Okay, the noble clone theme. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what.
Dun, dun, ba-da-da, or whatever that one. Yeah, we hear that one in ending number 1. It's like ending 1, because there's 2 endings. Clone theme at 42:23.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Xanthi, is that bingo thing on an iPad?
Oh yeah, it was a nice
Yeah.
trumpet
Wait,
solo,
how are you
right?
doing this? Wait, can we just take a pause for tech explanation for a second? Because I'm kind of blown away right now.
Tech
Wait,
explanation.
what? How are you doing this? You got it on your iPad, but you're streaming it, casting it to the stream that's
Yeah.
on your computer. What?
Yeah, I have it. I have my iPad plugged in, and it's a video source. It's a source that my program
Video
that I
source,
use is
yeah.
reading.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at you. That's amazing.
This is how you
Do you normally do this like on stream? Like you have it on an iPad that you're like doing like writing stuff?
Sometimes, but usually when I show like screenshots of examples, usually they're already screenshotted because I have my like catalog of themes in my notes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was very impressed by that. Okay.
Your tech reincarnated.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
Look at that.
Yeah, we heard Noble Clone theme a ton, many times.
Oh,
It
I
was
like
really
how
nice
that
there
one
though,
came up,
where you pointed out at 42:20. I think it was I wrote that it was a trumpet solo.
And I
Yes.
think that's the purest form of it. I think that's like the main. I don't know. That's like probably the first.
Clearest.
That's the definitive version of it. Is a solo trumpet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we get a Dies Irae?
I didn't catch one, which doesn't mean there wasn't one. Did anyone catch a Dies Irae?
There is no Dies Irae, but there was a little motif that kind of reminded me of it. That also reminded me of something from Lord of the Rings, the first Lord of the Rings movie.
Do you have a timestamp?
1723. It's kind of doing this like.
Yeah. That's halfway between. That's I think where
And
I
it does one
was
of those
thinking
things.
that it could be there. But it
Right.
super
And it reminds me, for the Lord of the Rings reference,
that
it
from?
reminds me of the Nazgul. Yeah, familiar with that score. It's this kind of very prominent in the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, where Frodo gets stabbed by the Nazgul. I just watched this film. Gets stabbed by the Nazgul on Weathertop.
Yeah, if you go back a little bit before where you said where it does the actual sonata, the chords just before it also sound very Lord of the Ringsy.
Yeah, this whole section does. It really threw vibes of that. Through vibes on God, no cap. Is that how you do it, James?
Yeah, I think so. On God, no cap.
Yeah. On God, no cap.
Okay.
Just go back a little bit.
Man, there's something else that sounds like boom, 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 boom. Is it a horror movie that's from? Boom, 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 like Halloween or something. Boom, 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 boom,
Okay.
boom.
This chord.
Like it really sounds familiar to me from something else.
I mean, there's a lot of.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Is that scratching anyone else's oral memory at all for something else?
I
Like
think
even
the Lord
I
of
feel
the
like it's
Rings
even on a synth.
connection feels strongest to me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just remembering it on a synth, and I know that there's not really much synths in that score, right? So I reckon when you played it on your synth, I was like, ooh, that sounds like something I've heard before. I think it's a horror movie. I think. Boom, 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 dum, 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 dum. Yeah, I mean maybe right, like it's kind.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
pick one of these.
Maybe.
Um,
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like The
probably
Omen or
John
something. I
Carpenter.
don't know. Yeah, it does sound like John Carpenter stuff.
well, there's also was it?
Interesting.
Yeah, or The Shining has the Diaseri in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a
Wendy
Kubrick
Carlos,
movie. I
yeah.
think you're right. Boom, 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 boom. I think it's a moment from the
Stanley
Shining or something.
Kubrick, yeah. Wendy Carlos probably
Wendy
put
Carlos,
it in there. Yeah. I love Wendy
All
Carlos.
right. Anyway, yeah, love her so much. I think we can also cross out the diegetic thing. Unfortunately, I was just scrolling and scrubbing.
We didn't. I don't think we got any.
I think, unless we think that Siren Sound was a Gary Newman sound concert.
Unless you
happening.
count.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It was some of the
That's
some
true,
of the
I guess.
Stormtroopers just blasting.
There were some good. There were some
I feel like
good
Chris-
I think it's
screams,
in threes,
like
Anthea.
funny screams when
Bum,
they
bum,
always
bum,
pick
bum,
like
bum,
really
bum,
embarrassing.
bum, 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 bum.
I think Christina is
Yeah,
delayed again.
she unfortunately is. I think.
When I speak, can you hear anything I say?
Yes, but only like 30 seconds after you say it, based on video.
Well,
That's what was happening to me. Which is weird because the internet is the same.
I wonder if we're maxing out the
My-
internet bandwidth for this house.
I don't know. I supposedly have really good internet, so I don't know. It could be though.
Are you on Wi-Fi, Christina? Are you all plugged into Ethernet?
I'm on Ethernet. She's on Wi-Fi.
Whoa, that's cool. Whatever you're doing right
that's
there.
probably what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like
Is this just a drawing program and you just put sheet music as a template?
Yeah. Totally.
It's actually the same program as the.
That's
as the
great.
bingo
Oh
card,
my
right?
goodness, I
Yeah.
love that.
I just imported it as an image so I could draw on top of it.
What program is
That's
this?
awesome.
Good notes. What was it? 17.
Good
So
notes.
that's why you always take such good notes.
You have to have the right tools. What should I call this? Okay, the reason I want to notate this is because it. Okay.
Do pseudo ringgeister.
How do you spell that again? Is that
Ring rate.
okay? Yeah, like Max said. Okay.
Weathertop.
Okay. Okay.
Nazgul is the words ring and wraith in the black speech of
good.
Mordor.
Huh.
Oh, good. I know what that means.
Aha.
Xanthi really likes fantasy.
Stop. Okay, so this is a good. Oh yeah, I think I'm ready to write off.
Space wizards, yes, but fantasy, no.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to write off also the diegetic music.
Yeah.
It was
I
a kind
can't-
of a long shot, but
I mean, I think that you could argue that the Zillobeath was just singing to everyone, but
Yeah, like whale song, but
Yeah.
Zillow song.
yeah. No, I think we're washed on that one. But thankfully, that might screw us up on because there was no Cad Bane theme probably either, right?
Can we say no Cad Bane theme?
yeah.
Oh,
Pretty
cross
sure.
off Clone X2 theme.
But we
Wait,
did
who?
have Omega's theme.
Wait. Oh, you mean like positive cross off?
Yes.
Yeah, C5.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
So
Omega's
yes to
theme.
C5. We have
Yeah.
Omega's theme, so
Yeah.
B3.
So let's talk about where Omega's theme pops up. We haven't talked about it yet, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So it did actually turn
No,
up a bunch.
it comes up everywhere.
Yeah. Anyone have a favorite moment that it turns up in?
end.
I have two. There was the end, which I'll play because it's very Irish, fluty sounding, and then there's a point at 1446 we hear Mega's theme when she's like inspiring the kids to climb up the ladder. She's got her own little batch now. She's a leader now, kind of a moment. And we hear actually no, there's another one at 539, which is great, where we hear both the Bad Batch theme and Omega's theme happening on top of each other at the same time, kind of a thing. Because we get this like
Yeah.
Yep.
and then underneath it we get the one of those moments, which was kind of I labeled it as Omega leads her batch, as her little bad batch of children. And then I have to
Sorry,
real quick before the delay gets me. At the very end, 4240, we get Omega's theme on a flute that's way too high. So I'm gonna play it an entire octave down because that totally had to have been a synthesizer of some kind, or a very, very steady player, like an immaculate player. But down an octave, it sounds like this. Which is a high E for all of you flute players, which would mean that's the note I played. In the score, it's up there,
It was so high.
which
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah,
It is so high.
Idyllic.
Sorry,
high
have we
pitch.
ever
It had
talked-
an interesting timbre as well at that moment because I even wrote that it might be like a high clarinet or something like that. Or I was like, what
Do you think it was a piccolo,
instrument could this be?
as per Jeannie's comment?
I don't know if it was a piccolo. It sounded more like a tin whistle, like a very small tin whistle kind of a
I
thing.
was gonna say tin whistle.
It had a different tone to it, but
Yeah,
it
was
would
a
be
tin
piccolo
whistle for sure.
range.
Penny
Yeah,
whistle.
totally. Like
Yeah,
a piccolo, this is like nothing. Yeah.
Sorry, you played the Bad Batch theme, and have we ever?
I
this
had a
would be the
favorite
last-
Omega's
our
theme
last-
moment.
Oh, sorry. We could keep like, sorry, Christina. Have we ever talked about? I mean, this would be the last day to finally do this. That the Bad Batch theme sounds like the NFL on Fox theme. Have we ever?
James,
have we ever talked?
yes, we talked about that. That was like one of the first that was probably the
It was?
first TikTok I ever posted.
Oh, okay. Good. I just want to make sure because today's the last day, right?
Yeah.
Today's the last day to
There's
ever talk about
no
that.
more talking about it. No.
As soon as he played, I was like, wait a second, is that the NFL theme? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Christina, you had a favorite Omega theme.
Yeah. Also, Max, can you repeat your comment about Scorch?
I
didn't see
do. My favorite. Totally.
Go for it, Christina. Go for it.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, my favorite Omega theme moment was the one at 21 minutes in when because it came in when Emery was saying like, "Oh yeah, we can get the kids out in the probably the science hangar." Uh, so aptly named. But it was nice because then I think right around there, that's when Echo said "causing chaos, havoc 5," and
Ah,
I thought that was a nice time.
I'm listening to it now.
Sorry.
Is there a delay and it also doesn't come through in the first place?
Say that again.
No.
Say it again, Christina.
Whatever the last
Like say what again?
Whatever you were saying. Aw.
Oh no!
Aw.
So she was
Do
saying,
you want to just invite Christina over to your square?
Do you have another headphone splitter?
No.
Oh, see, I'm delayed too because I don't think you guys heard that.
no, we did.
Okay,
No,
well,
but
then
right,
I'm
but
gonna
from
put the
from what I
backlash
hear
down.
and from what I'm talking, it's a good
Oh.
it's
Oh,
good like 15
no.
seconds between.
Oh no. Are you giving me the TikTok with the Fox football, Xanthi?
I'm seeing if it works. Okay, Christina's joining. There's so much happening.
Ah, that's really funny. Okay, got it. All right, Xanthi.
My screen. I will. I am going to show you. I am going to do it. Okay, but I need to unmute it. And then share my system audio. Okay. I'm in.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
Wait, Xanthi, am I delayed too?
I don't know.
Oh no, because you just responded like right away. So no,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Jeez, we're
Like
good.
clap
Am I
your hands
delayed?
when you hear me say this.
Oh, but do we clap?
Clap your hands when you hear me say this. Okay, so you guys are good. How about you, Justin? Why don't you try?
Okay.
Oh no.
Clap your hands when I say this.
This is
Yeah,
a
that's
terrible
like
thing.
3 different time scales across everybody right now.
This is funny.
Okay, wait. From Lisa. Oh,
James
from
gets
Max.
me first. Christina gets me last.
Okay,
Well,
so
I just get you, you know? Like we're
Okay,
just,
wait.
you
Let's
know.
establish some protocol for the people that are delayed. That's
Yeah.
Christina and
Yeah.
Justin. When you start talking, just keep going. Don't be polite and wait because James and Ender and I can quickly respond. So if once you start on something, just keep going, and we'll make space for you.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, so Max says, "Did you see the scene where Hunter and Crosshair kill Scorch before Hemlock?"
Yes.
Yes. And let's see, where's that?
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
man.
going on?
There's so many.
musically
Yeah. I'm just trying to find a timestamp. Probably around 30, starting at 32.
I missed that actually.
Oh, yeah.
there? Yeah, they shoot him like 14 times or something. He falls off the edge.
I love how ledges are so vital to Star Wars battles, Star Wars fights.
I've been rewatching The Mandalorian, and
Yeah.
the one in season 2 where they go back to Navarro and help them like with that, just get rid of the Imperials off that base, right?
Hmm.
And then they have the, what do you call it? The whatever Horatio Sands' character was. They have him, and then they make him like do stuff for them, like in the mission, and then they make him go like turn like a tractor beam off or something like that, and he's like, "There's not even a guardrail here," and it's like just such a meta joke on like how in Star Wars like there's these ledges everywhere with no safety precautions. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Did you notice the tubular bell? Okay.
Where?
26-25. After Nala Se talks to Omega for the last time.
Oh yeah, that was a really nice time when. Oh wait, 26-25.
Yeah, roughly.
After Nala Se talks,
little-
I was like, oh, that's when like Nala Se is destroying the databanks, correct? And they brought in that nice. Oh yeah, I wrote 26-35 Bell of Doom. It really felt like,
Right,
oh yeah,
26-35.
whenever you ring that bell, it's like,
Yeah, like she's gonna die.
totally.
That was her last. Yeah.
Yeah, and then leading up to that, it was really nice.
death
We had a
knell,
lot of high
as you would
strings
call it.
and then a choral ooze soprano. Or nice.
Yeah. So in terms of like stories that kind of did wrap up or whatever.
Speaking
like,
of Nala
Se is definitely
Se, yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of Nala Se, oh man, what a! I mean, of all the people that I don't know. I thought Emery was gonna kick it in this episode. I'm surprised Emery kind of just got off like, hey, okay, you're good, go, just like you're fine now. But Nala Se as an exit, I'm glad she got at least the last like, haha, a little bit. You know, it's like, what did she say? My work will never be yours or the Empire's. It will always be Kaminoan.
Kaminoan.
And Hemlock, or not Hemlock, what's his name?
Rampart.
Rampart shoots her, and we get this. No, that's way too high. Which was a little cheesy, but that's okay because then she threw. It was so brilliant with the sound because you hear that, and she throws the thermal detonator, and you hear this little as it like charges up for a moment right before you get the what, as Rampart just goes boom, and the boom is great too because it's compressed in the room. So if you've got subwoofers or headphones that got a good bass, all you hear is then you just kind of feel it. And there's a little bell. There's like a little elevator like check thing that happens at the end, which is kind of cute. But go Nala Se.
Can I ask you,
Take 'em
Justin,
out.
to elaborate on what you found cheesy about the music there?
I think, and I don't necessarily say it as a negative kind of a thing. I think it's cheesy because it had a moment of like, or like tropey, we could call it, because it had a moment of like, shot, dun dun dun, da da da, bomb, insert dramatic death of surprise and devastation film score thing here, kind of a thing. But it was, it was great. It was effective. It's, for what it leads into. I think that's what I mean by cheesy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes.
Cheesy
makes
is
sense.
always like an endearing thing from me. Most of the time, like 90% of the time when I call something cheesy, it's like very endearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were also some kind of creepy, like sustained strings and then slow moving string lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is this heavy use of brass?
Interwoven
Can we
with
say
the
heavy use
Nala
of
Se
brass
scenes.
throughout like just the episode?
Go ahead, Christina.
Probably.
Is there a different deal, sorry?
Oh, I made a note kind of near here. where we're in the Nalase section for big brass sound. I wrote like at 2940 when the clones enter into the I don't know what you call his conditioning chamber. I refer to it as the awful spa because they're all in these like, containers, like experiencing treatments, but it's like torture, spa torture.
Yeah, like a really, really awful spa. Like, you don't even know. Okay, wait.
And I feel like Hemlock thinks of it that way. But it was nice because it was like a big brassy wall of sound with all of these forte pianos being like. And did you guys catch that at 2940? Can you hear what I say?
Yeah. 2940.
Yes.
Listen, we're all listening. Like, do we?
Yeah, I would say that's heavy brass. Throw it on the board.
All right. Heavy brass is going on there. On B4. Okay, so Max says the orchestration for the Ring Wraith theme from the Lord of the Rings is from the Dies Irae by Mozart. And so not being familiar with the Ring Wraith theme from Lord of the Rings, I will say that the Dies Irae is a chant that goes back far before Mozart. However, in Mozart's Requiem, he does have a Dies Irae, like a Dies Irae. Christina, you know more about vocal music than me, so feel free to jump in. Like it could be that it's similar to the, what's it called? What's each section of a Requiem called?
That one?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Mass.
What is each? Like, what are they called? Movements? Like
They are called. They are called.
I guess they're called
what do you call
movements.
it? That's interesting. I don't know the answer to that question. Why don't I know the answer? I've
I'm
done
seeing
so many of
sections
these mess.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all parts. They're all parts of a mass, is what it is.
Right.
Right. It's all liturgical.
Yeah.
So it's
Is
part.
there,
I always just knew it as a part, like the part of a mass. Like this is the Dies Irae. This is the Agnus Dei. This is the
right. Prayers though, are they all each?
It transcends
the Kyrie. This is the.
Yeah. So the Dies Irae would be part of the sequential.
Yeah.
And not just
Sequentia.
because it's not like movements of it. Like you think of it like a church program. Like you look at the program and it tells you what you're doing now at church, and it's like that's kind of how a mass works. It's like now we're gonna like do some glory stuff, and then we're gonna do some the Sanctus, and then you have the part that's a little more storytelling-ish, and then towards the end you have the Dies Irae where you're like, all right.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Requiem is so good.
Yeah, it is good.
Awful Spa, 0 stars on a Space Yelp. Definitely. Okay, so let's go back. Let's skip to the other tension, the top of Tantus Base, back where Hemlock is defeated. As Crosshair is aiming for that shot, which is there's like a buildup of there's like brass chords and like there's a crescendo and it kind of the beat is like that was really good. And then
it leads up to an intense moment where the score goes silent.
Yep.
As it goes, and then they shoot, and we just get 5, 6, 7 shots to the chest, and Hemlock goes over.
And then right after that, we hear.
Oh, actually, right after that, are we at like kind of 38:20-ish to 38, 35 already, or are we not yet?
Not quite. Or maybe we are, actually.
Okay, okay. Because that part
Oh, we're past that.
really, really reminded me of the 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 pitches, the tonal quality, the orchestration, everything about it reminded me so much of Mussorgsky's pictures at an exhibition, the promenade scene, the
Can you give me a timestamp?
but the slow one.
Yeah.
I wrote it down I wrote 38:35, which hopefully is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Omega's theme. It's also very Dvorak 8th Symphony or something.
Or the Great Gate of Kiev.
Yep, Great Key of Kiev. Oh. Do,
Or
do,
Kiev,
do,
Yeah.
do. Is that right? Do, bum, do. Is that Great Gate of Kiev?
And just
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
No, that's the. Oh, is it? I thought it was the pictures at exhibition, but the part at the end where it's reprised several times, and it is the promenade theme, but it's like the second one.
I think
Great Gate of Kiev is bum 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 bum
Yeah.
bum.
But also
bum bum
Ah.
bum 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 bum. Yeah.
I think it recalls the promenade too.
It does, I think. I think a number of the movements do that. And by the way, aren't we specifically talking about aren't we specifically talking about the orchestral version of this piece? Right?
Yeah, because of the
And
yeah, that's right.
who
That's a
was
good
that?
point.
Yes.
Was it? Didn't Mio
It's original for piano.
somebody else did it for him though, right? I don't think Mussorgsky is the one that arranged it for
I think
orchestra.
didn't Rimsky-Korsakov?
Yeah,
Or is
Rimsky-Korsakov,
that who it is?
who
Yeah.
is Rimsky-Korsakov was Mussorgsky's like teacher / mentor, and I think and was involved in orchestrating it. And there's several versions. When
Ravel also-
yeah.
There's a version by
great piece.
Ravel.
Oh, and Ravel.
Ravel, that's who I'm thinking of, not Mio. And then there's
Ravel
of
has
course
the most
Emerson,
recorded
Lake, and
version, I
Palmer.
think. It's the most popular one.
That did it.
Yeah.
Mussorgsky is one whose music is really well or Mussorgsky's music, at least like a few pieces of his, like Night on Bald Mountain and Pictures at an Exhibition, are really famous and used a ton. What I find really interesting is I think Rimsky-Korsakov orchestrated both of them, like the famous versions for orchestra, because Mussorgsky wrote them just for piano, and they sound completely different on piano. And I just think
Yeah.
it's interesting how we would never have heard these pieces if they weren't translated to orchestra. And
Right.
like it's really the orchestration just as much as the composition that is what is well known. Because like when I refer to Bald Mountain, I'm usually talking about like the texture of the strings and the brass and stuff, like, and the way that the winds then come in, like, I don't know. It's just it is interesting how many different facets of composition there are and presentation of the composition.
Yeah, it's almost exactly like
haven't-
how Natalie Imbruglia's version of "Torn" is actually a cover of an Edna Swap song. You know?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
That's actually a cover.
That's funny.
Wow.
And we wouldn't all be, you know, as heartbroken by the
First version.
by this tale of a chilled, passionate love, if it wasn't for Natalie Imbruglia's cover. Similarly to how Mussorgsky says Pictures at an Exhibition.
Nice. Pretty humble. Okay, wait. I want to go back
Which
to.
is like
I have a
the bad
good
bad.
Mussorgsky anecdote.
Okay.
I have an interesting Mussorgsky anecdote about when the LA Phil played it. I mean, people play it all the time, but when the LA Phil did, like a couple years ago, it was conducted by my colleague James Conlon. who is the conductor, who was the conductor. But the fascinating part about this particular version is there is like a Conlon version of Pictures at an Exhibition, because
Oh.
he decides, like, we want these two measures from the Rimsky-Korsakov. Oh, we want these two measures to be reorchestrated from the
That's
original
cool.
Mussorgsky because we think this. And then we want these two measures to be from the Ravel version. And so the librarians have to actually take all of this and compile them in the music notation software and make a separate score that is specifically the Conlon version,
Conlon cut.
which he has memorized.
That's wild.
Yeah, the Conlon cut. So, and I think it's wild that conductors, that's kind of like one of the fascinating parts about conductors, is part of their, and librarians, is part of their job is to know all the different editorial versions and say, like, oh, okay, we did this. And to look and say, okay, this is what I like best, or this is what I think they would have wanted. Like, they know enough about it to be like, no, this is the one that we choose.
Yeah. In so
That's
many
wild.
of these types of jobs, like, it's not just the part that we see them, like the conducting, like the physical act of conducting, like what they're getting paid for and what makes them so good is the knowledge that they have of, like, the history and all the stuff and, in their field. It's like really the score prep, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All the connections they're making between
Or-
scores and stuff.
Yeah, and they're like the artistic director of the orchestra, of the organization. They lead the orchestra in the direction of what they're going to program, what they're going to highlight, all that good stuff.
I think that makes John Williams's role as a composer kind of a little bit different than a lot of composers, is that his career was first a lot of conducting music and then a lot of composing.
Yeah, it's sort of like when a really good director is like, they started out as an actor, and that type of thing happens a lot. I think, like, where you are on one side of the, I don't know, and then you go to the other side of the coin or whatever. Okay, we have a comment from Max, and then I also want to just go back to the moment. Let's go back to the moment where Crosshair's aiming, the music is building, and then the music cuts out as we have crossed that square off, and then the music that we hear coming in after that, I really like it. It is like, because they're relieved, right? They're all relieved afterward. They like hug each other and stuff, and it's like around 38:16. The violins, they're like. Right? And then it goes into Omega,
Oh, yeah.
which I think is the part, it goes into the part Christina was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I like that lead in, and
Totally.
that those notes remind me of what we were just talking about with this. They're not the same. I don't think they're actually connected, but I think it's just like, what can you do with like just a few notes that are just like a couple steps, one or two steps away? Well, you can go, and then you could go. Like, they all have a pretty narrow range. I mean, the perfect fifth aside, but they're just kind of, I don't know, skipping around a few notes, like skip one note, go stepwise, stepwise, or just one step, or just skip one step. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't think they're connected, but yeah. There's a lot of ways.
Whenever there's things that are, like whenever I usually use the word gesture when I'm describing things like that, where it's a thing that can be used in a ton of different ways. It's just a gesture.
Did you hear the alarm when Rampart gets blown up by Nalase at 3212? It's the same alarm from season 2, episode 3, where Crosshair wakes up. Yes.
Yep.
3212. And there were a few moments.
It's very, very subtle at the end. But it's great.
Yeah.
Speaking about alarms,
So
a
11:35.
lot of alarms going off, but no klaxon alarm. No classic
wait.
imperial klaxon
Check
alarm.
11:35.
But like every other kind of alarm. I'm pretty 11:35. Okay, I thought I didn't hear any this round.
I have to recheck too.
11:35. Okay, hold on.
More like 11:33.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, but all the other alarms weren't. Where you would usually hear them, you didn't hear them. Fine.
It's actually really low in the mix.
Well, it's funny because the first time I watched the episode, I was like, I don't think we heard the Bad Batch theme once. And then going back, I'm like, oh, actually, it's everywhere. Never mind.
Just thought it was the
I tell you,
football theme.
the first time I watch it, I don't pay attention to anything except for just, I just pay attention to the story, and then the second time I do the music.
I think you already talked about that when I was gone. Right?
Me too.
We could definitely check off synth creepy music, right?
I think so. I think the CX2 theme
Everywhere.
kind of covers that. Like, I think it earns
Well, there's
that.
also just moments where it's not even the
Well,
theme,
there's
it's
other
just-
synth creepy music.
Yeah.
There's other.
Yeah.
When Nalase goes to the lab to destroy everything before Rampart comes in, there's all this like really cool synthy creepy stuff that's going on. They kind of do the heartbeat thing again. They kind of do the kick drum, low FM bass kind of a feel.
Can we clear Fennec's theme?
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't think we heard
we
Fennec's
did not
theme.
hear We did not hear the Palpa theme. No Palpa theme. No Force theme.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Only adequate use of snare drums this round. I don't feel there's some heavy.
Well,
there's heavy drums, but not like
I have a
There's some
contender
moments.
at 34-35. What do you
a
think?
lot of heavy
I need a
drums.
snare note.
Contender.
That's what I was gonna say.
34,
yeah.
35. Definitely
I
snares.
mean, I also. The other thing is it's likely a singular snare drum as opposed to plural snare drums, but I think that's splitting hairs here.
That's fine.
But it's rare that you'll have multiple snare drums on an arrangement, but unless you're like a marching band. But I think that there's moments like even in the intro, there's like.
But not this time.
Like right after the intro, there's like
Okay.
a little echo of a snare drum. I don't know if I would constitute that as a heavy use of snare drum,
That's true.
but I think there are some moments though that I would say like that
But that's what I
Avengers
mean,
moment
adequate use of snare drum.
What'd you say, Justin?
Oh yeah.
I think he's
Is it
listening.
adequate use of snare drum?
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
34.
Yeah, adequate
45.
use of snare
Adequate.
drum, not heavy.
Okay.
I see.
Okay.
I would say heavy use.
Okay. Let's just dotted line
I would
in
say-
case we need it.
Compared to the soundtrack to No Country for Old Men, I would say it's very heavy use of snare drums. Okay.
Cool reference, James.
Okay. Here. Question for you, James.
Yeah.
If you were reviewing this soundtrack for this episode, would you write in your review? Sorry, would you write in your review? It made heavy use of snare drums. Or would that
That's
feel
so
like a
tricky
lie?
though. But you're right. I would not write that. But at the same time, then where was Matt coming from? Because I don't think there's an episode in this series that I would describe that way. So I think Matt is clearly referring to like that there's some snare drum going on that's like
the bass line that we've
prominent.
already established.
You know what I mean?
The healthy
Like,
use of snare drum.
Yeah. Like there's
Yeah, like that the percentage of it in the orchestration is sufficient to in that just one moment.
I feel like it would have to be a pretty interesting like choice to come away from an episode and like one of the takeaways you're like, whoa, there's like a heavy use of snare drum on that album, on that side. You know what I mean? Like there would have to be like a lot of snare drum for someone to like notice it. You know what I mean? Like snare drum's one of those instruments that kind of sits in the mix because it's usually used in a way where it's like accenting like the whole orchestra, right? And so like you're usually not noticing the snare drum unless it's literally by itself, right? And in that case, if it's heavy, that would be like the Akakiri version of a soundtrack, but it would replace the tableau with snare drum. You know?
Okay, I have a proposal. I propose that instead of heavy use of snare drum, we consider whether the snare drum is integral to the cue that it is involved in. And I would
And prominent.
prominent and
Okay.
a crucial part of it. And I would argue that the part at 34:45 where the Bad Batch theme is played slower, it's kind of has like the military vibe. I would say that snare drum is crucial to that cue.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
Right.
I think we're on team. Let's give ourselves a point. You know.
Yeah.
Bingo! I'm not saying it now. I'm just saying we're.
I don't
that
know.
Dies Irae.
I don't know.
We need
I
to
don't
find
know.
that Dies Irae.
I feel like heavy use of snare drum is the Andor 4 to the floor moment.
Yeah, I mean okay, that's a perfect example where like that's where I would go with heavy. It would be like when there was a random drum set solo in Andor, you know what I mean? You'd be like, what the like you actually come away from that being like I noticed
Right.
that, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's such a rarity for this instrument that I don't think that's in the spirit of what Matt was intending by putting that there, because that would be like him throwing in something that like is not gonna happen, like would be very rare for it to happen. And I think what he was going for is the way that snare drum has been used in this show, which is to your point, Xanthi, where it's like it's clearly a snare drum, it's prominent, it's present, and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
And
I
if you
think
took it away, it would be less for it.
Yeah. I think
I don't know why. I don't know why Justin is trying to steer us away from a bingo right now, but I'm trying to word vomit my way into
We
giving
never
us a
had
point
that.
here. So
Okay, there's a cool unison that happens in the Hemlock confrontation on Tanta Space, and it goes something like this. It was a notably cool little section. It was like, oh, I should have practiced this. Sorry in advance. And then it kind of went up. It was like all unison and stuff. It's pretty neat.
Can we like put a
Yeah.
Dies Irae in there? Is it findable? I see some steps.
Some steps, yeah. Just 36, 34. I would like the committee
we
to listen
gotta
to that.
be creative with this DSC thing.
It's like a reverse DSA. It's like a bum 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 bum.
And there's some good runs in there.
Well,
So-
listen. To be fair, it
Reverse
doesn't say
is so cute.
it doesn't say DSA straight. Like we could have a couple different notes in between all the notes of a DSA.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
If we feel it's justified.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
yeah, like, and it doesn't like it could be like the notes could be like minutes apart from each other, right? So like, if we have like a D somewhere,
It's
and then like 3 minutes later,
You're such a troll.
I think that would only
it's
work
DSA
if consecutive key
inspired
centers
referencing.
yeah,
spelled out a DSA.
Yeah.
I think I would count that, but
yeah, there you go.
But the way I
that would be wild. There's like a meta DSA
I'm
where
sure
it's
that
modulated
totally
into
happens
all.
somewhere. Oh,
That
yeah.
is gnarly. That's awesome. That's
Um,
awesome.
Yeah, somebody should do that. First off, but no, what I was gonna say is that I think.
Well, yeah.
Does it move that far? It doesn't. Okay. I would count if we can definitely confirm that Howard Shore or whoever did, is that who did
Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
If he was
Yeah.
if he was definitely referencing a specific Dies Irae, and they were specifically, I think I'm pretty confident that they were referencing the Ring Wraith theme. So I think that that's definitely descended from Dies Irae in that case.
Yeah, there's like a degrees of Kevin Bacon there that
Yeah,
we can
it's
we
definitely
can make,
descended enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could.
But we don't have to pull that trigger now. Like, we can pull it at the end of our chat today to see if we need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I like, because
Well,
if we pull that trigger right
about we
now,
how
it's
about
over. We won.
compromise?
We won. Okay?
Yeah. No. We should compromise and do dotted crosses on Diaseri and heavy use of snare drum. Dotted crosses on both of those.
Wow.
Yeah, because Matthew's
I think
coming
that's
out
a good
against
compromise.
us.
Yeah.
Matt, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this to us?
To us.
You know what we can cross off though? I think we could cross off easily both the heroic version of the Bad Batch theme and sad version of the Bad Batch theme, because we heard every version of the Bad Batch theme
Actually, I didn't talk about
in
that.
this thing.
Totally.
We even had the ostinato-ified version of the Bad Batch theme at 5 something.
Yeah.
We had the ostinato dum ba-da-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum. And we had we also had the glassy last theme, the last Bad Batch hint at the very end of during ending 2. I labeled as ending 2, Grown Up Omega, where we have this beautiful bell thing come in a whole bunch, right? It starts with crap, where are my notes? This But later on, when she's talking to Hunter, 45:30-ish, we get this. And then it goes into Omega's theme at the end there.
Yeah. What synth did you use?
That was also the micro freak.
Cool.
On the what did I use? The virtual analog setting.
Just listening to that made me just so sad, and it made me feel like I wanted to cry. You know, just I think that's definitely a sad version of the Bad Batch theme.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm going
tears
back
were
to the part
definitely
where
shed
I'm going back to the
twice
ostinato
watching this
part.
episode.
It's really cool. One note at a time is changing. Is that what I was actually? Yeah. Okay, it's going. Go. And then it's like. Sorry. Yeah. One note alterations, and then that is also, they also do that later on. Or sorry, before that. There we go. There's like... Right? And it's the back half of the theme, right?
Right, at 4 whatever.
Yeah, 406. Yeah. It's the I think it's hinting at the Bad Batch theme. Maybe you don't think so, but I think it is.
I think it probably is.
Yeah.
Because this is when the droid, they reprogrammed the droid, right, and to stab Smolder, Sully? Scalder.
Scalder. Sully. Yeah.
Agent Scully.
Scalder. I think it's Scalder.
Yeah, I liked my game is broken. The epilogue was awesome, but I wish they had old Crosshair and old Wrecker at the end. I wonder if they did this for story reasons or if the cost for more 3D models was too high. I also wished for that.
I think that they're both dead. I
But
think that
this,
I think that by the time of the end of the Clone Wars, their increased aging and their poor lifestyle choices.
but doesn't Omega say like
Crosshair
take
started
care of
smoking.
Crosshair and
Yeah.
and Wrecker for me though?
Crosshair takes up smoking. Wrecker loses himself to alcohol. You know, it's just
It's really sad.
Hunter's
actually.
blind.
The
But
Wikipedia
but yeah, but
summary.
It's terrible.
It says
doesn't
here's
Omega say to him though, like take care of Crosshair and Wrecker for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in cryo.
Yeah, like
They're in back to
like put flowers on their grave.
Yeah, that's dark. That's dark.
But
I think it's-
Batcher hasn't aged a day.
That's true.
Batcher hasn't aged a day at all.
Yeah. Those hound years are the opposite of humans to dog years.
Yeah.
They live forever.
Well, the clone, to clone years at least.
Clone to
Yeah.
human to clone years.
Is clone years the same as dog years?
That's maybe we can approximate it like
How
that.
fast are they accelerated?
I have a really far-fetched idea for getting a DS Ray out of something,
Okay.
Okay.
which I heard, Xanthe, when you were just when I heard it when you were. I mean, I maybe heard it when you were just now playing that string ostinato. Can we kind of say there is the components of the DS area are sort of present at like 450
I don't know if I would accept that.
into 5? Can we make that claim?
Oh, well, cross off the Bad Batch theme.
Not really.
Yeah, that's questionable.
I'm trying to make it work, Christina. I don't think so. I'm sorry.
It's a bit much.
Yeah, it was a nice.
Yeah.
try. Okay.
Go ahead.
I would like to call your attention to 1335, and I want to know if you think this counts as Godzilla-ish music. It's a Zilla Beast. You can also hear it at the end of the Zilla Beast Breaks Loose track on the soundtrack at 4:08. I don't think it's as dead of a ringer as last week's, but it might count.
That is so Godzilla music. Come on.
It's very Godzilla-esque. Like, original
Yeah.
I'd count
good old
that.
Yeah.
Godzilla themes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. Let's count that. Godzilla, not that it's really going to help us. But that's okay. Godzilla, Jurassic Park inspired music. Did anyone hear that?
Jurassic Park inspired music.
I don't know about that one.
I didn't hear any of the carnivore theme, or I didn't hear a lot of Lydian stuff either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't
No.
really either.
I'm not as hip to
I had a moment
Jurassic
where I
Park
felt
soundtrack as y'all, so
Oh,
I definitely didn't hear that.
let me see.
Yeah, what is that one? Oh, I see.
a 3-hour tour. What is that?
Oh, Gilligan's Island.
That's also part of the Jurassic Park main theme.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
oh,
right.
oh,
That's
oh.
right.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. Okay, so we're gonna say no for that, I guess.
No, we can find it somewhere.
Well, I
There's
think
gotta be something in.
No,
I think we're better. I think we have more luck
Let's
finding a
search
DS
everywhere.
still.
Well, there are some parts of this score that are played by an orchestra, which is heavily featured in Jurassic Park orchestral music. So I think.
Yeah, but is there
Which was written by John Williams, who also wrote Star Wars, where this world is built off and where this music comes from. So it's clearly Jurassic Park inspired.
We're good. We're good. Okay, no. Okay. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, Jurassic Park came
I didn't
before
hear any 4 to the 4 kick
Bad
drums.
Batch.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, not kick drums. There's some 4 to the
Totally.
floor synth parts
That
that
is true.
sound kicky, but they're not really kick drum parts. No.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
There's like a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we say about the sad version
No,
of the Bad Batch
no
theme?
cool bar
think-
trance music.
Right.
I think both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
Speaking-
wanted Jurassic Park to work. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything prominent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Speaking of
I don't.
orchestra?
There wasn't really any not Kylos either.
Yeah, I know. There wasn't.
Not that I heard.
I mean, there was plenty of moments that did the like that, but never
Yeah,
like
a half step.
more than like it's just the classic da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
plenty of that, but like
But like a half step.
none of that.
Yeah, a half step justifying like a reference to a theme is sometimes how far fans will go. Like they'll be like, "There's like the same like button, or I don't know, the same type of I don't know." That's how it feels like sometimes. But wait,
Right.
I want to talk about the strings at the end. Sounded like they were probably real.
They were very warm.
Very very end.
Yeah.
The end credits or the end?
Let's see.
The strings at the end
Not
were
the
probably
credits. Yeah, around 46:25. It's like a string trio or something. Omega's theme and like Christina said, they sound notably warmer than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like soloists on each instrument.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they sound really convincing if they're not real. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a good timestamp.
Yeah.
There we go, 46:27. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's real.
And then Omega's theme going hard at the end.
Yeah, orchestra's coming in, which may or may not be real.
Probably
Might be.
not.
Percussion's not real.
And then they finally brought
It
in
definitely
the
sounds
the
more
satisfying.
like
Go on, Justin.
it sounds more mixed like a live orchestra than other
Yeah.
concepts sometimes.
Yeah.
This sounds like an orchestra in a room versus someone created it in a DAW.
Yeah.
Whether or
that'd be
not
awesome.
it's fake or not. Yeah.
I'm usually on side. Nothing is real, but it does sound. I mean, it does sound like a studio orchestra.
Yeah, their process may have been different for this, you know.
Again, this would be a question to ask the Kiners.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't think that the decision to have there's a similar reason why I think the decision to have Hunter at the end and only Hunter at the end wasn't for budgetary. Like, this is the last episode of the show. They're not gonna like skip on the budget like in the last episode. Like, they're gonna probably get if they really wanted a live orchestra, they could probably get it for this episode. It's the last hurrah.
Well, maybe they
and
didn't
so they
want to pay D. Bradley Baker 3 times for the last scene.
for those last little things. Yeah, but I think the decision with Hunter alone is because those two are like have the closest relationship, and it really just wanted to showcase the relationship between her and Hunter.
He's her original dad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She's had other dads, I think.
Yeah.
There were a
It
few
had to
episodes
end.
of Crosshair Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And despite the Crosshair relationship coming in, the Hunter was kind of first, in a weird way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although she hugs Crosshair first on the bridge. She hugs Crosshair first on the bridge.
Maybe it's because
There was a whole
Crosshair is
moment of
injured.
like, who's she gonna go to? And then she hugs Crosshair.
Maybe it's because he's injured. Oh, the first ending number 1 around 43. Well, first they do like a fade to black situation, and really resolving that on a very sweet sounding major chord, like a well earned one, I think.
I think so. Yeah, they're sitting there like relaxing, eating their space sushi, and yeah, I think it's. I don't know. What was the doctor's name? The clone.
Dr. Carr.
Yeah, she was like in charge of the kids. I don't know, man.
Oh, you don't
I had
like that?
moment.
Emery.
Emery, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of those moments like, dude, you imprison children. I know that you were like kind of nice to them, but like, she just gets to just hang out in peace with everybody else.
James wants
I don't know.
retribution.
I
Jeannie,
do, man.
Please comment
That's
if
what
you're
I was
still here.
saying at the
You're
end.
a Dr.
I
Carr
was
defender.
saying Emery just kind of gets off scot-free. No,
Yeah,
Emery
dude,
shouldn't get off
come on.
scot-free like that.
Just because you felt bad about it later.
She was
it's
raised
like,
by
At
Hemlock.
least like have like a noble sacrifice. Maybe like have a noble sacrifice of like I save the children but go on without me. But like nah.
No, I think it's good that she stayed with the children. Good for her.
No, I'm glad that she saved them eventually.
No, I said
Glad
stayed
she got
with.
out okay.
Oh, stay. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And I'm glad that she wasn't
Yeah.
punished,
You're
because it
glad
seems like she
wa-
did learn. Like it seems like she. What more could it be achieved by punishing her?
Yeah, but apply it to the real world. Apply it to the real world,
Okay.
and would it be okay to let the person that, yes, like a whistleblower on an illegal government program that's kidnapping children, to let her still be in charge of taking care of the children in the aftermath?
Right, and this
Maybe.
is the moral conundrum that I.
I mean, if Hemlock just like at the end went, I'm sorry, I see the error of my ways. Does he get to go on the ship and go to Pabu?
Like because in the show we get a lot more of her interiority. We get to see her point of view. But would the other characters realistically be okay with her redemption? I don't know.
It's hard to say, because in a show like The Bad Batch, or like in Star Wars in general, the stakes are so high, and it's not like mundane life. It's like people are dying and everyone is shooting, and like it's just
Right.
it's a whole different level of thing. I don't know, maybe though, because maybe best option at the time still, like, and also it's a good point, Jeannie.
I mean,
Yeah.
she is the biggest expert on clones health,
Yeah.
like on clone health. So maybe she's the only doctor
That's
that
true.
Yeah. Then ideally she has
let's put
someone
it this
else on
way.
the team.
Do you think that outcome would be the same if this was post Return of the Jedi? Right? Because right now there is no like government system to like hold her accountable because the government is the evil one, right? Like, that's imprisoning the kids. But if this was the New Republic, do you think the New Republic would imprison her for her
No, they'd probably
crimes.
Project Paperclip her. The amnesty program.
The amnesty program, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's still a level of like confinement and control, right? But they probably wouldn't just like let her be free to do whatever she wants on Pabu, right?
But I guess like by the time of the rebellion, half of the people in the rebellion used to be Imperial officers.
Imperial, right.
Of some rank or other.
Right.
So, like, I don't know.
So that's what that's what I'm thinking. It's like pre New Republic, these things, like, it's like, we'll take what we get, right? Because we're fighting an evil empire here. So if you're willing to, you know, come to our side, great. You know, we can overlook some things. But once there's a New Republic established, where now we're actually setting up a new government, then I think there's a different question there, right? It's kind of like post World War II, right? There's people that were just following orders, right? But anyway, I just, again, I'm a little bit more hardcore about the protect the children kind of thing. Anyway, but yeah, so that sushi looked good, you know.
Where was the sushi?
You didn't see the space sushi?
Was that supposed to
The
be
Pabu
sushi?
sushi.
It was
You don't think that was
sushi.
like a reference to sushi?
Wow.
They had chopsticks. 40.
It was definitely sushi.
46.
It was
46.
unambiguously sushi.
Yeah. It's definitely sushi. But
Okay.
yeah, come on.
They
They're
have like a fork and spoon chopstick.
they're
thing
trying
going
to
on
figure
there.
out. They're like, how can we start selling sushi at Galaxy's Edge? Oh, okay. Put it in the Bad Batch. You know.
Camera people the
Pabu.
footage.
We call them Pabu pockets.
Yeah, Pabu Ponzu sauce. You know.
Yeah.
They may not be eating it. Who is eating?
Wait, who's
where's the sushi? Timestamp on sushi.
446 or 4046.
Okay.
It's
I don't
looks
think
like
I don't think
strawberries.
anybody in the batch is eating it. It's just in that scene being
Yeah,
served
yeah.
to somebody.
Very briefly.
Very
It's just- they
briefly.
just
But
show
it's a hero
somebody.
shot. Like, it gets a close.
It-
Okay.
It
I
was
think I thought it was
definitely-
strawberries.
it gets like this is clearly
Yeah.
Oh.
Nobody.
I see. Okay. I see. I kind of also thought it
On
was
an
like.
island planet.
I also thought it was like sweet treats.
sure it's sweet fish.
I mean, it's definitely fish.
A sugar
That's the
fish,
thing-
if you
that's
will.
the thing that's important here is that Pabu is a fishing
Yeah, it's a
planet.
sugar fish.
Okay. No, it all makes sense now. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I want to highlight some comments. The kids are staying with Hunter.
Because the rice underneath makes it look like
Emery got upset as soon as she discovered kids were involved but didn't know what to do. Once there was an opportunity to act and rescue the kids, she then helped them. That is true. She did
She
noticeably
gave Omega a
change.
doll. Or not Omega,
Yeah. I mean, she always had some sympathy, or she was slightly sympathetic, but I feel like her character did have a more significant change when she realized what was happening to the kids. And then Jeannie's saying she had info to share. She's headed to Pentor to rat out the Empire. So I like a good logical justification. Regarding Omega, she hugs Crosshair because he is able to get over his PTSD and take the shot. Like she's proud of him. If you listen closely, he takes a deep breath like Omega taught him before shooting. Oh, really good catch. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love a little bit of mindfulness, you know, being offered to the war-torn Bad
Yeah.
Batch.
And then also Echo was getting Emery to see Senator Chushi to tell her what was happening to the kids. Emery would be risking her life to rat out the Empire.
That's
True.
True.
Totally
Yeah,
true.
Emery probably does die.
Yeah. You got your wish, James.
Yes. I'm just kidding.
yeah eventually eventually.
And this is true, Matthew. In regard to Real Strings, maybe they had a little bit of extra budget for the last episode. Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny, Max.
I have a controversial opinion.
Yep,
apparently.
go for it.
And it's I'm gonna have to say it eventually. I think that either Emery should have been played by the same actor as Omega, or Omega grown up should have been played by the actor who played Emery.
I hear that for sure. I believe that.
That would have been
Or, like,
interesting.
I agree with that. Because that's technically what Omega is like. They're like strand casts of each other, right? They're supposed to be like.
I mean,
Like, isn't that-
they're all clones, and all of
Right.
the adult clones are D. Bradley Baker.
And they all sound different.
Yeah, but they're played by the same actor, and you can tell.
I hear that.
I can tell.
Okay.
You know,
I
like
don't
there's
hear
a
them as
through
different
line
people.
that makes them feel like this, like clones. Like to me, Emery doesn't just subconsciously doesn't sound like I actually just remembered when you said that Emery is a clone, like and that goes to show that I wasn't like hearing. Like, you can subconsciously know that the Bad Batch are all clones of one another because of that through line of the actor. But I totally agree with that, for sure. I think that would really strengthen that connection, right? So,
I feel like it's probably not necessary, but also I feel like the Emery's identity was not. We didn't get like a full arc of that. I feel it wasn't. It's like an extra piece of knowledge. It does like I don't feel like they did very much with like I feel like they could have done more with it if they wanted to, but they didn't push it too far. At least
So you think that she's a different enough clone that she sounds significantly different than another clone? You know, than every other clone.
I think in the show she doesn't really align herself explicitly with the clones.
She does right at the very end. She says
Yes.
we didn't ever have a childhood. We
Yes, right.
Clones.
Yeah, that was the beginning of that, but I feel like it wasn't because I'm just thinking of the reveal where it's like, "I'm your sister," or whatever last season, and I feel like I don't know, like there was no conversation between Omega and Emery or something like the fact that they were. I'm still not sure. Like I understand the significance is not lost on me, but I feel like it wasn't leaned into, which is fine. And Emery does feel distinct because of her different, I don't know, of her brainwashing and upbringing and age, and I can see how that would make someone sound. I mean, she talks completely differently, which all the other I'm thinking out loud, so these are not really coherent thoughts. Yeah, like sure, the rest of the Bad Batch, they all have different sounding voices and cadences, I guess. But
I would
Yeah, I
have
don't know.
liked the similar age clones played by the same actor. That's
yeah,
my-
I guess we're also assuming that both actors would have the range to do that.
Well, I'm just hoping that one of them would.
yeah, I mean, Michelle Ong, like, I was interested in when they showed Omega right up, like, you know, in the epilogue, and we hadn't heard her speak yet. My first thing that I thought of was like, ooh, I wonder how Michelle is going to do her voice.
Yeah, what did you think of her voice?
I think it made sense. It tracked. I think it
She did
sounded
age it
aged
up, right?
a little bit.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, for sure.
I
a little
felt
deeper.
Like her voice felt very out of place. At odds
Oh, really?
with the with her
With the
physicality.
age of
Yeah, because how old is she
that's
there?
interesting.
We did some calculations.
So yeah, that if the rebellion is established as the Rebel Alliance, because I think that she says the Rebel Alliance, then it is most of 19 years later, right?
Oh yeah, it's like leading right up to the
Yeah,
right
so,
up
so
to
she's
A New Hope, right?
so she's like
Late 20s,
30, late 20s to early 30s, depending on when the first ending was. You know, like so she's an adult by
Yeah.
that time.
See, and I think the most unbelievable part of that is if she's 30 at this point, I would expect Hunter to be dead. Like,
Well, but the thing is that Rex is still around, and
Yeah,
Task
Rex
Force
is alive.
99 was
True, okay,
was
true.
was batch 99. Like,
No, you're right. They're the
ones.
youngest,
They're
you're right.
babies, you know.
you're right, but I would have expected him to look even older, personally. I don't know.
So
Okay.
He was grizzled.
do they
No.
really like the batches are only 5 clones at a time? That's kind of interesting.
No, just the last one.
Okay, so it's like they're like, okay, well, let's do like a million. Last one, we're gonna make 5 of them.
Well, what happened is canonically, is that
Okay.
they were taking new blood from Jango Fett. That's why he was living at Camino.
Right.
And then he died. So now they
Yes.
can only make clones of clones. And so over time, they're like, the DNA is degrading.
That's
in
interesting.
copies.
That's interesting.
And so by
gotcha.
the end, they're like, maybe we can figure out a different thing to do, and we'll do this one test batch of a whole bunch of weirdos. And see if any of those.
I didn't know any of this. This is good. I like that.
Okay, Matthew. Okay, I think this is why I intellectually I am not opposed to Ender's idea. I think it would be a good idea on paper, but I also do think that for the epilogue of this series, where we've really gotten to know and really gotten to like fall in love with Omega and her voice and whatever, I do think it would have still been jarring. Like it would have been hard to execute.
I think that is the decision process that they actually did make. Is that
Would be
it
cool,
too jarring.
but
I think that my solution to that, which I've already thought out, is that you have Michelle Ang perform it.
Yeah, do her voice.
And then you have Emery, whoever the actress is, imitate it as closely as possible. Like you do what they have done for aging up actors across a whole bunch of media and movies and stuff. This is a common practice, you know, when you have
makes
two
sense.
actors play the same character. You have one do an impression of the other.
Yeah, I would just do it the other way. I would have just had Michelle on voice.
yeah, I think that would be ideal. That would have been ideal for me.
Yeah. If Michelle Ang had voiced Emery, I would have had no complaints throughout. But I also think it's cool that the person who plays Emery was the Queen of Naboo during the funeral scene in Episode 3. So that's fun.
That's
Yeah.
fun. Oh, I could totally hear that in her voice. That's really interesting.
Jeannie is saying Michelle Ang's voice is ambiguous, like her normal voice.
That's
Good.
true.
So let me ask everybody a question real quick,
Okay.
because this is, all I want, I never get, is just like conspiratorial type, like explanations of like weird goings on. Like I would rather they just like stop slightly alluding to the whole Palpatine cloning thing and just like show us a freaking Snoke like in there somewhere. Like I just want it all to like be perfectly candid and upfront and make it like it just be like stop like teasing us with like this is kind of what we're alluding to, whatever. So anyway, sorry, I did actually what I'm about to talk about isn't the Snoke thing. It's the Boba Fett thing from season 2. Like, they just threw that out like, oh yeah, by the way, she's like Boba Fett's the Alpha and she's the Omega, and they are like kindred clone spirits. And I think it sounds like the reason why they put that in there is to explain why Omega ages normally, right? That seems like that's the whole purpose of even introducing that whole thing. Like, they're like, hey, the audience knows that Boba Fett ages normally, so we're just gonna use. But I really wanted there to be like some.
Her DNA is completely unaltered. Is another thing.
Right.
Which maybe they did. Maybe that's why there's so many Jurassic Park references in the Bad Batch, is because they simply denied the hormone at the appropriate time. So all the Omega is female.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. But yeah, I mean, I really wanted there to be more like connection to Boba Fett later. Oh, Christina, sorry.
I've got a good conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Oh, on Omega. Okay, so in order to make clones, they're like, we've got Jango Fett. We're going to clone him to make Omega. And then we're going to use their DNA to make all of the clones. Hence, Omega's transferee quality in her blood.
Whoa. Oh, whoa.
It's interesting. I mean, we don't know how they make clones. Maybe they actually use two beings to create the embryo, like...
So you're saying that Omega is like
It could have
is the
happened.
original template for all the clones? Is that what you're saying?
I guess I'm saying that it's possible that all of the clones are actually a mix between Omega and Jango Fett,
Whoa.
despite the fact that Omega's a clone.
Omega and Django or Omega and Boba? Oh, I guess I
Jango,
see what you mean. Yeah,
who was the original.
right.
That's pretty wild.
Did you hear the Hemlock's theme when he was trying to escape with Omega at 3616? And yes, it was very good.
Can you remind me what
Yeah.
Hemlock's theme is?
Well, it's like the clone facility theme.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just named
yeah.
different things. So like 3610, if I believe it was on top of some really good string ostinato, I thought. It was like,
Anyway,
oh yeah. I don't know.
ooh. Ooh.
Something like that. Anyway, sorry. That was... But then the brass. The brass
just-
actually do the clone facility theme. What was that?
Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm like off topic.
It's okay.
Jeannie just said something that made me think, which is like maybe why Boba Fett ends up so close to the Empire again, because maybe because of this whole thing blowing up, Palpatine decides to take Boba as the template for his cloning project.
Oh.
But part of me doesn't want that to happen because like Book of Boba Fett has revealed Boba Fett to be kind of like a moron and like not that, you know what I mean, like he's like not that sinister and like impressive anymore. So it's kind of like having him be like the key to Palpatine coming back kind of like is really like on a Book of Boba Fett kind of ruined Boba Fett for me to a certain extent.
That's what'll happen in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Is like Boba Fett is
Boba Fett's gonna get captured by
the Sith cultists, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think
Boba
they might
Fett
want to
is
bring
Snoke.
in. Oh, stop it. I think they might want to bring in Omega in live action in the Mandalorian timeline.
I think that's likely.
However, they had to wait for the Bad Batch to be done, otherwise it would suck the tension out of the show.
And they're gonna be like, Boba Fett's gonna say to her like, I grew up around the water. And then she's gonna be like, I also grew up around the water.
No,
One of the
there's gonna
stupidest
be a
lines.
moment where she's gonna be fighting Boba Fett, and he said, "But I am the original," and she'll go, "No, I am both Alpha and Omega. And you know, and his, I am both Alpha and Omega.
That would be good. Yeah, I mean that would be really cool to see. Do you think they would cast Michelle Ong to play Omega? She doesn't really look anything.
Probably not.
Probably not,
Like-
right?
Yeah, probably go the Ashley X, probably go the Rosario Dawson route of just recast.
You think they'll cast Rosario Dawson as Omega?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
That's what they'll do.
Yeah, of course, naturally, totally.
I mean, I would be pumped to see a live action Omega. That would be awesome. But
I think that would be cool too, because then in that timeline she would also be like kind of old.
right?
And
Ooh.
it would be really cool to have like a badass like older woman. I think that'd be cool.
Do you think? Yeah, I mean, who could play an old version of Omega?
I'm sure there's many casting choices.
Who's like an awesome?
They're
old-
probably gonna cast
New Zealand.
Scarlett Johansson.
Who?
Scarlett Johansson, the only blonde actor.
I was thinking, who's in depending on when in the timeline
Okay.
Hold on.
Who are we trying to think of?
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Do you think that she presents as being like similarly like Maori as
I think
like,
that she has to. I think that
I
in
think
live
she-
action
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
yeah.
In live action, all of the Bad Batch is also played by Tamura Morrison. You know.
That would be awesome, honestly. Who are some awesome Maori female actors, I wonder, that are older?
I think you'll have good luck looking at like Thor Ragnarok, and that's what I'm thinking of is who's in that.
Kate Blanchett plays. Yeah, that would not be the move.
No.
It'll probably if somebody played, it'll probably be a not very well known actor that'll probably get their first shot playing Omega. You know.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Anyway, I wonder what they're gonna do in that Mandalorian Grogu movie.
I
Very curious.
don't want to know yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of like not super pumped that is going to be our return to cinematic Star Wars. Like, I wish it was something else.
Anything else?
Okay, Justin, please explain your utterances.
Merch, capitalism.
No, I'm just with it.
Okay. Anyone else have a Bad Batch season finale comments?
Oh man.
Did it stick the landing?
I was happy that it had a
What
happy
did we
ending,
think of-
and yeah, I was happy that it had a happy ending, and that and I feel like that said a lot about all of us being so pessimistic as to be very certain that so many people would die and all these bad things would happen, especially relating to Palpatine's clones and things like that. And all of those guesses and things were almost like dirty, dark wishes that we had, kind of like it makes me think of the dark side. Like, fear leads to the dark side, so we're like afraid that these things happen, so we expect them so that we're ready. And then literally none of them happened. All that we lost was Crosshair's hand, which wasn't working.
What was oh no, we didn't see Crosshair. Oh, what was Crosshair's hand situation in the final shot of the first ending? Did he have
no hand?
Okay.
It was gone.
Okay. It's
I
shame
saw a
that
droid
technically-
repairing it or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa, I feel like emotionally that I would love to see him again, but like I'm glad that they didn't like fake us out with his death or anything like that, if that's what you mean by that.
And I do like how they made a big
Or
deal
have
out of his
him
death.
be revealed as the assassin clone.
Yeah.
Or have him be revealed as the assassin clone, which a lot of people were speculating. I'm glad we didn't have to go through that emotional journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the episode stuck the landing in the best ways that it could in a 51. I liked the joke that everyone was saying, oh, it's going to be a 99-minute episode for Bad Batch 99. Kind of a thing, which would have been kind of fun, but just to give it a little, because like as with any show, there's loose ends that we don't get to know. We never kind of found out what happened to Sid, which is fine. I get that they weren't integral to this season at all. There's like a slight mention of them.
I am not sad that we didn't get to
Sid's
see
just
Sid
gone.
again at all.
So we didn't get Boo again?
I'm just
Riddance.
saying.
Sid.
It's just Sid's gone after, Yeah, and then it was interesting that they kind of swept Project Necromancer so quickly and just like, we're just gonna go to Project Stardust, which is a cool reference to Rogue One and the Death Star. But we do, and I kind of had a moment of like, well, wait, hold on. We were getting so close, like James was saying, like so close to finally just saying, this is it. This is the thing. This is the somehow Palpatine returned. Here it is, finally, and they kind of don't. But I'm looking it up. Technically, it does come back. It does come back in Mandalorian where we find out that I was just looking at Mandalorian season 3. There's a very brief mention of it being chapter 23 of The Mandalorian. They mention Commandant Brendel Hux, not Hux that we know later on, but his dad, his uncle, his something, is working
Right.
back on Project Necromancer. So it does come back. So I think it is the link.
Right.
Because Grogu is clearly they lost Omega, so it feels like
Oh
they were
yeah,
trying
that's
to
why
get Grogu.
that's right. They're looking for Grogu for that, which is interesting.
But is
Yeah.
Grogu? I think Grogu is actually
Right.
more like the Force children, and not
Oh.
like Omega.
Right. They need something to
Totally.
like take
Totally,
the
totally.
M count, and they need the thing, the subject that has the M count, right?
Yeah. Well, they need the transfer medium
Yeah.
of Omega's blood. Omega's
Right,
blood
right, right,
binds to midichlorians and then can transfer.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, something like that.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was okay. Anyway,
Matthew says, I loved the ending. It was a very Dad Batch ending. The ending felt like Omega going off to college moment.
Yeah,
I kind of
for
did.
sure.
The finale left my heart completely full.
Dad Batch.
Yeah, Dad Batch is also good. Yeah.
I would like a Dad Batch
Had very
t-shirt.
nice and different end credit music too.
Yeah, the music
Dad
was
Batch,
very nice.
yes.
Yeah, they withheld, like, it was a great idea to withhold like the usual, I guess, themes, the usual, at least credits, the usual main themes for a while, because we haven't heard have the credits been the same? Have they been normal in the previous episodes? I can't remember.
Not the past few.
Yeah, because like that Omega's theme when it comes in with the like
No.
the blast on before.
Could you imagine? Yeah, could you imagine this episode like after going through all that and all the music, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 all the way at the very very end? I think that would have been pretty funny.
What I think is cool, and we didn't talk about the end credits. Well, the end credits were like they started out with like a cello solo over like a piano accompaniment, and you know, very heavily Omega's theme and stuff. And again, I'd really, it's in the end credits. Yeah, and then trumpets entered, and it's like very nice. And the ending, 3 notes are like a few notes on the celeste, and let me see. Yeah, okay. It's just 3 notes that hint at Omega's theme,
The
right?
very ending sounded just like the first. It's so cool how powerful those 3 notes have
Yeah.
become throughout this series. But the chords and the feel, it's like that. All we got to do to reduce Omega's theme now is just 2 notes, 3 notes, and you
Right.
get it. You know.
Yeah, just like the major sixths. That's it, and we know it's gonna go. Is it all major sixths?
Crew, I gotta roll. Actually, I gotta go. I just
Yeah,
looked
go
at
to
the
your
clock.
opera.
Awesome to see you guys. We
You too.
We did it.
We did
Bad
it.
Batch.
Indeed.
Let's do it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye,
I
James.
will- I'll see ya. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. I'm just gonna read a few more comments, and then I think we can
See you on the next one.
wrap up.
Bye bye.
Matthews. What? Oh. Okay. It ended up okay. Wait. What are we gonna? Can we just count how many points we had? Can we just do it that way? We did not get we did not get bingo, but that's okay. That will raise the stakes.
Oh,
Well, it only depends on whether or not we count Diaz Irae.
we got
we
a
didn't.
close
We
enough
never ended
bingo.
up finding one.
Yeah, no.
It's a close enough
but
bingo.
I think that the grandfather theory,
Like a true one.
theory works.
I looked really hard.
Oh, right. What you said about the. Okay. We'll see.
Do we have more red than blue?
Yes. Okay. I'm just going to read these comments. It ended up sticking with the Bad Batch thesis statement that you can't protect your kids in a bubble. You need to do your best to teach your kid to handle the brutality of the world. Good point. They're also trying to close note.
It was on
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. Any last DSRA? Okay, you think it counts.
Oh, I kind of think it counts. Does anybody else agree that it
And you're
I
talking
think
about the part.
that's why I say it virtually counts. I think the dotted crosses make it like it's a half count. We could argue it, but we could also argue no.
Okay.
So we got bingo, but we also didn't get bingo. It's Schrodinger's bingo. It is both bingo and not bingo.
Good. Okay.
Ding.
It's a bing. It's not a bingo. It's a bing.
Okay.
We got a solid
do
bing
that.
there.
Good. Well, thank you, Matthew, for making this. It was really fun. Yeah. And thanks
you,
for everyone
Matthew,
for watching.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah, this was really fun for us. And yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you, Matthew.
and it was thanks for coming even despite the time change and the day change. We just wanted all of us together, so we tried to make it work with our
Yes.
schedules. Yeah. Anyone else have anything, or shall we wrap
Stay
up?
tuned for the next one.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
be
Stay tuned
announced.
for the next one,
To be
which we will
confirmed.
discuss
Visions
and
too.
argue about.
Huh.
Yes.
But can you put in chat what
Yes,
you'd be interested
please.
in hearing us cover? We won't necessarily do that. It kind of also depends on if it's at a season where it works.
We
for
won't do
schedules.
it, but we might do it. But we want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I guess what's on the table is
You'll know that you're letting them down if you don't do it.
yeah.
But you still might not do it.
Justin really wants to do Visions too. Yeah, and we were going to do Ahsoka until the strikes, so yeah. So we never
Yep.
actually do that.
Thoughts on Acolyte?
Yeah, did
I'm
anyone
okay
want
with
us to do
letting that one
Acolyte?
slide.
Or? Yeah, interesting. The Acolyte composer comes from the like classical world, which is interesting. Yeah. Anyway, let us know in comments or if you're watching the replay. Yeah. Thank you all, and hope to see you again soon. We'll see. Bye.
Super soon. Bye everybody.
Ba, 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 ba.